that drinking
disgusting.
drinking arak. Oh, we're live.
Oh, we live.
We're live. Drinking arak. You can Google that one later. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. You will notice that I'm a little bit lost of voice. So all of the NPCs are going to have a slight lost voice today, which is going to be interesting. But welcome back and joining us. Sorry for our brief intermission. We shipped off some of our players to various places around the world for them to learn from different cultures. And now we've come back. So
sorry about the crap camera.
sorry about the crap camera.
No.
If you would like to give us some money to buy a new camera, we'd appreciate it. I'm not above panhandling the audience, so we're going to do it a little bit. Yeah, and it's going to cost a lot between the two of you, so if you can club together, that'd be marvellous.
Time to set up that OnlyFans we've been talking about.
That OnlyFans, yeah. If you're interested in OnlyFans of all this, please write to us. We are that desperate.
No, I've got yours.
Baby, not she goes.
I'm not sure you.
Other than that, we should probably roll an intro, shouldn't we? Isn't that a thing that we do? Can't get the tech support.
Yeah.
Hello, boys. Pink lemonade?
Mom!
They don't do it. That never happens.
It does.
That happens in Judge
You just
Dredd.
weren't watching.
I've seen
closely.
Judge Dredd.
That's in Judge Dredd.
That's the film I was thinking of. It was Judge Dredd.
OG Judge
Not
Dredd?
Safe
Yes.
Day.
With Stallone or
Yes,
Carl Urban?
Stallone, Judge Dredd.
Stallone.
Send in the clothes.
Send-
Keep
send-
touching my little feet.
Yeah, I remember. Gosh. There you go. Now you need to watch Judge Dredd. The original.
No,
No,
you
you
don't.
don't.
Send in the claims.
What about the
No,
Carl
it's
Urban
the
one?
Oh,
You
the
like
Carl
it?
Urban one's good.
Yeah, well, I'm going
But-
to watch the original just
but-
to spite
but-
you.
And then Demolition Man, double bill.
Yeah, I
Double
I
Bill
have to
Demolition
watch
Man,
it.
yes.
What about The Running Man?
Oh.
Yeah.
Frickin' love The Running
Well, have
Man.
you
I
watched
like
all the
Running
Man movies? But,
Back. Is Seagal included in Man movies? Because I think he's utter trash, and he does
Whoa,
not. And he
well,
does
that's
not.
it.
Under Siege.
That is a challenge.
Beautiful.
Under
Steve
Siege
Seagal's
is
going
a
to come
good
in through the
film.
window.
Under Siege is a good film.
Yeah.
All his other films are absolute toss.
Oh,
Seagal,
wow.
when like Dave
Oh,
used
Was
to
that
do
one where he was
the
a cop?
He used to do the action hero weekends, and it was Arnie versus Seagal, and it's like there's not a competition. Like Arnie is an action hero, Van Damme's an action hero, Stallone's an action hero.
Arnie can't kick you in the head.
No, but it's
That's
neither
true.
really.
I don't know.
I don't even know if Seagal can.
Probably kind of. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
Stephen, if you are watching,
Yeah.
please
Yeah.
come along, prove us wrong.
If you are watching, please come along and just karate chop Rich.
With his sheriff's badge. And he goes round with his sheriff's badge, doesn't he? Doesn't
Absolutely.
He? Couldn't speak that.
Absolutely.
Pretending to be a cop.
Well, I think we've split the audience already. Would anyone like to remember where we are?
Entwine.
We're in the mountain,
I haven't got the right
And
bloody
we-
names at the bottom of the script. Carry on.
and we've just
We've been invited to a dude's house, which is what you should always do when a stranger invites you.
Do
Yeah.
what?
You have been invited to a dude's house, that is true.
Yeah.
You are in...
Dude's house. I thought you said Dude House. I must have missed that when I was listening back.
I'm sorry, it's my accent.
We're going to play Taos or something. Interesting.
So you have been invited to a dude's house. You might
Dude's
not remember
house.
his name. I'm not even sure we gave you his name, but you were.
Mm.
You're in the Gilded Hall.
Horse
right.
rides.
I'm
His
willing to
name.
bet he had a
Well, you're
West
just about
Country
to
accent.
enter.
What's his
You didn't
name?
actually.
Gilded
Got a
Terrace.
Scottish accent.
Ah,
Sorry.
He lives on the Gilded Terrace.
Yeah, I was like, but his name could easily be Gilded Terrace.
Gilded
Oh,
Lily.
I am Gilded Terrace.
Yeah, you're in the Gilded Hall. The Gilded Terrace is where you currently are. You've just come out of kind of an antechamber that had a very large anvil in it. That had gullies, shall we say, carved into the floor.
Blood Gullies.
Oh yes.
Blood Gully is a great band name.
Hello, we're the Blood Gullies. And you were you were greeted by an individual in a robe that had kind of gold filigree on it. He had a metal staff. When you originally looked at it, it looked like wood, but when you looked at it closer, it was actually a slightly dishevelled looking metal staff. He introduced himself as Holtson Grimarm. If you didn't hear that already, you've heard it now.
Holtson?
Holtson.
Okay, I thought it was Holston.
That'll
Me
do.
too.
Holtson.
Have you changed his name?
Holtson. Yeah, Holtson will do. It's probably in his accent, which...
I wrote it down as Horston. Not the same.
Yeah.
Holston.
Blood gully.
And that's where you were. All of a sudden, you will have to introduce you in a little minute. You'll have to emerge from somewhere. Are you ready to emerge?
So many bees.
But you are in this antechamber with an anvil. This individual arrived through a door, and he actually invited you over for dinner because he decided he wasn't going to kill you.
Word about him.
You'll remember. If you don't remember any of that, please watch back through the last episode. It's like this, but my camera was a little bit better. Is the best way to describe it. So, this individual backs off from you. And as he does, he leaves the door that kind of came out of the wall, if you remember. There's these doors that look like they're almost not there, and then they come out as like a block and then turn on a hinge. He leaves it open and walks out into what you assume is another room.
We shall follow.
Who's heading out first?
You are.
Nobody's going, yeah, I'll go. Seems like he's inviting us in.
Yeah, you walk
Open
through.
door.
You're struck by the size of this. It's got a room because it seems to have a ceiling. It's kind of called a room because it has a ceiling, but it's not. It's almost as if you're walking into kind of a city street, almost. The ground isn't so much paved as it is carved. There's intricate dwarven carvings on the floor. You are greeted by... there's kind of no particular kind of wall space of this internal cavern because it's kind of lined with buildings, kind of wall to wall, like a terrace of houses, if you will. Apart from their massive, huge ornate doors, big stone pillars holding up roofs. Each one of them is intricately carved, and they all seem different. So it's actually quite difficult to look at to begin with. Everything is almost trying to grab your attention. It's light in here, and as you kind of look further around, you would almost look as if there's a sprawling open sky. But when you look closer, you realise there's actually minerals and veins across the ceiling of the cavern, all of which seem to be catching light or emitting light, and it's almost hard to pick out what is refracting light through the stone and what is actually silvery or golden or even kind of a green metal and reflecting light. But it creates this illuminated internal cavern. To note, there is very little to no vegetation, there aren't any potted plants, there aren't anything like that. But there's this big open paved road and wall-to-wall buildings around. Several of them do kind of stick out, but I won't necessarily describe them until you go and have a closer look. But there's a very large building on your left, a very large building on your right, and a kind of an open, what looks almost like city square in front of you. This older individual is walking on. He's kind of chattering along to himself and saying something, but he's kind of gone out of earshot now.
Swój bacon. Would you bacon?
Did we say you have emerged?
Have I
Hasn't
emerged
emerged yet.
I haven't
emerged yet.
Hasn't emerged.
They eyed into me.
Why would you spend all this time carving all this out when you can literally just go outside and it's done for you?
I can't answer that.
Yeah.
I'm afraid, no. No.
It's really cool.
It looks pretty big.
What's happening with the big golem things?
That's a really good point. So if you remember the walls of the room outside lifted up and there were statues within them, and they seem stationary. So they don't seem to be moving or don't seem to be alive in any way. OnlyFans. Look us up on OnlyFans. It's how we're making money for the camera.
It's the camera under.
Yeah.
Oh no. Nobody needs that.
And then we were banned from YouTube. If the heavy drinking wasn't enough.
That's right.
I'd love to read any of these shop signs, but I can't read.
Funnily enough, you can hear
Squiggles.
the only sound you can hear, these kind of two major sounds. One is a clanging, which is this metal staff as it hits the flagstones as he walks by. Let's say flagstones, they're carved into the ground. You see this metal twanging. You can hear a distant voice, somebody chuntering along to themselves, but nothing kind of that pricks your ears. There's a kind of sound of kind of dripping water from somewhere, but that's it.
Are there any like windows to these houses and shops and terraces that are lining?
Yeah, there are a couple of very big open windows. They're very broad. The glass seems very thick, and the only reason you know that is because when you look at them from a distance, it's kind of hard to see through. They're almost smoky with how thick the glass is. And it's not because they're inexpertly made, you just think it's the thickness.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's because it's structural or if it's a fashion thing for the dwarves. But, they kind of distort the light within.
Could I go and have a look in one?
Yeah, of course. You've got a very large one to your left and a very large one to your right. Huge buildings. The one on your right has multiple stone columns that hold up, kind of almost like a kind of front terrace or set of steps, if you like. That is almost like the entrance to it is overshot by a balcony. The one on the right has two large stone pillars that holds up almost like a triangular roof section.
Sounds like the
Sorry,
bank.
describe
Let's
that the
go
other way.
there.
Left is two columns that hold up a triangular roof section. Right is multiple columns.
Right, must be the central bank. I want to have a little look.
Is there anyone around?
It's a very good question. As you kind of all, I assume you're all stepping out into the room. As you all step out here, there's a distinct lack of anyone around. You can hear
That's what I was going to have a
the
look to see if anybody gets
Well,
in
then
the
let's go
buildings
and
or
have a look.
yeah,
Let's do it.
So which one are you going to check out?
the bank.
You check out the bank.
Yeah, the bank. Yeah,
Or
How did you know this was a bank?
I just assumed it was the bank.
Cool.
Sounds like a bank.
It's the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah.
You do head up to the right. Can anyone read Dwarven? We've got any Dwarven readers around here?
Yeah, me and
I can't read.
You can't
Unless
read.
you teach me to read.
yeah,
I
I
can't
can.
read. Yeah. Oh, winky face.
Funnily enough, carved above all of these stone pillars, carved above them, it says gilded bankers and treasurers. Is what it says. It's as you walk up, there's a series of stone steps that lead up to a door. The door is huge and made out of some kind of stone. You'd imagine it's kind of a stone, almost a glassy substance. It could even be volcanic glass, but it's made out of kind of a very large, black, stony glass. It has no windows as far as you can tell. It's just this big kind of open, big door that's shut in front of you.
It's a bank.
Look like one. In your picture books.
Is there anything else you want to see from this bank?
Just I want to look for a window really. It's a bit dusty. It's a bit
There's no windows as far as you can tell.
curses. Should have gone to the other one.
Yeah.
Well, then there's
To the town hall.
We're allowed to turn round.
To the town hall.
That's fine.
We're still on the other side, you're just guessing. Then.
I am, yeah.
This building is actually one that your friend Holtzen seems to be heading towards
Perfect.
and heading up. He's kind of like got to the first step, and you're noticing he's struggling a bit, even with the short distance. And he actually takes quite a lot of effort to get up the first step, and quite a lot of effort to get up the second step.
Yeah.
And there's a good 10, so he's kind of slowly making his way.
I'll give him a shoulder ride without him knowing. He's climbing. See, he's an effort. Duck under his legs from behind.
What are you doing?
Lift
What are
him
you
up.
doing? I didn't ask you to do that.
Have I got him? He's in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm a hero and I'm here to help.
You're getting right on my skirt there. It's going to be twanging on your shoulder. Well, you're a feisty one, aren't you? Sorry, I've got a bit of a hoarse throat.
That's alright, Holston, I'm here to
Something
help.
happened in the last minute and I can't quite get it out.
Fair enough. Just You can imagine it's the emotion of this
It
place.
is.
Yeah, it brings a
It's just
chokes
the
you
echo.
up a little bit.
Put me down. Put me down now.
I'll put you down. All right, I'll put you down.
Some things just take the time.
Cool.
It's going to take me a while.
I saw that, so I thought I'd help.
Why do you think you were waiting so long in the other room? I had to get out of my house. Had to come all the way down the steps. Had to go that door there. And then I forgot the key, didn't I? So I had to go back.
Lovely. What's this building, Holston?
This is, well, it was originally my shop, but now I suppose it's just my house.
What did you sell?
Wow, we sold services. We all sell services around here. If you're guilted, you don't make stuff. You do, you consult. You get involved. You lead stuff.
No.
Like there'll be a project, but it won't be something you can just kind of go into a shop and buy.
No. I haven't been to the shops yet.
It'd be like, like someone will come to you and be like, I want this thing, but this thing don't exist. But I know you're really good at making the thing, so you can make it for me, and then I'll be like, hey, yeah, I can do that. It'll cost you a lot, but I can do it. And then you think about it, and you scratch your beard a bit, and then you charge a bit more, depending who they are and whether you like them. And I did a bit of that. Really, I haven't done much work in a long time, but I mean, we don't really need to work, thinking about it. Not as a guilted member, because you get your expenses paid and you get your house, and you kind of we're kind of here to make sure all of the trades and kind of the skills of the dwarves is kind of perfected for another generation.
Sounds kind of like a politician I once read.
A little bit, yeah.
Get paid to do nothing, eh?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit like that. But I was if you had to give my trade a name, I was I suppose I mastered the Life Forge.
Interesting.
It's relatively new. I was the first person to do it, and that's why they made me guilted, you see, because they wanted it protected for the next generation. So,
What did a Life Forge do?
well, perhaps it's best if we talk about that inside. It's quite a difficult
Sounds
conversation to have. I mean, feel free to have a look around. You don't have to rush, but if you want to come in, you can come in when you like.
You ever heard of a Life Forge?
No.
You ever heard of a Life Forge? You ever heard of a Life Forge?
No.
You ever heard of a Life Forge? Oh, it's not there. What's a Life Forge?
I think we're about to find out.
There's not many people about now, but there's the creator of Likenesses and Automata. He's still about, but he's a bit of an ass. But he's around. There's the Gilded Bankers and Treasure. I saw you had a wee peep already. That's up there now. And then there's the Forge Master General, and we're kind of the last that's left.
Where can I do a poo?
Well, I'd recommend probably not in my house, but I've got like a toilet
Yeah.
that you can use. A privy, you call it that? I don't know
Yeah.
how to talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can use that. Oh, there's the hole. You can go to the hole. But I
That
wouldn't
sounds
recommend the hole. Generally speaking, people are a little bit twitchy about the hole. Alright, it's not been around a great time. And I'd rather we didn't draw a lot of attention to it. We try and ignore it most of the time.
Where's this hole?
I'm just trying to.
Oh, it's just over there. You'll see it down there. I think you'll probably find Darniran down there. No, not Darniran. I'm going mad. Baragalt, he's down there. Ash armor.
down near.
Yeah.
That's going to be important.
And how far's your house compared to the hole? Because I'm pretty bursting.
It's literally just down there. You'll get there in like a minute.
Well, yeah, and your house?
No, my house is behind me. That's what the thing with the steps is. That's where I live.
Oh, you live here?
I live
oh,
here,
How
yeah.
long's it going to take you to climb these
It's
stairs?
probably about 10 minutes.
Right, to the hole.
To the hole!
To the hole. I'm going to go to the hole, drop them, and I'll be back.
Okay, that's fine. A bit weird, but
you
I
need to
imagine
go-
you've been adventuring. I like that you didn't just go in the wild. Like your
could
friend
have.
here. I imagine he just squeezes them out.
That's a rumour. That's
Knowing what I know about dogs, and I know him well, I imagine you just go when nature calls. And that's alright, I don't want to judge you for it.
Yeah, I'm not a dog, I'm a fur knight. And it's no one has witnessed me do that.
What's a fur night?
Yeah.
What's that?
That's what I am.
What's that?
Well, it's
What
a,
are you?
It's a lot like a dog,
Yeah?
really.
A dog?
Yeah, but I can stand
That's what I
up.
said, you're like
I can,
a dog.
I can, yeah, but I can swing a sword.
You can swim.
I can swing a sword.
You can
it's
swim?
It's my accent.
Where do you swim?
I can swim.
No, I'm swimming around here. You can probably swim in the hole, but I wouldn't go down there.
Have you ever met a dog that can swing a sword?
Swim? What's he talking about? I mean, is my comment wrong?
He's a dog, he loves swimming.
He likes to swim. Do you know any Dwarven? Because it'd be way easier if we speak in Dwarven.
What's he saying?
What
What does that mean?
Why can't this guy learn to speak Dwarven?
Adantris, what's he saying?
He's saying you should go to the hole.
Okay, let's do it. Come on.
Let's go to the hole.
Oh, coming to the gilded place. We got all the best trades of all the dwarves, and what do you want to see? A feckin' hole.
I can do a shit
That's
on
what
the
you
floor
wanna
if
do.
you want me to.
Is that right? You are bursting in
It looks real tidy, and I don't want to have a shit round the
You're
corner.
expanding.
I am.
You're like coming out like this. I haven't been there. Oh, I'm a bit excited.
He's got to go to Brown Town.
Oh,
I've got to go to Brown
oh,
Town.
that's
yeah.
got my heart going now.
Take me to
Are you
Brown Town,
happy?
Felix.
Are you happy?
I'm
You've got my
sorry.
heart going now.
We've gone.
Oh, I'm going to sit down.
I've run off to Brown Town.
How is this whole formed?
Ah, well, now that's a story.
You can run along.
We're off. We're already off to the hole.
The
Yeah.
barrier.
So about 2 years ago now, I think it was about 2 years ago, there was this great sound, and it came right through the ore, it came right through the ceiling, and everything got covered in dust. And the life forge that was built there at the time, which I made, I'll let you know, you just kind of, well, it hasn't been the same since the Enclave used it. You see, they put it through a lot of stress, and this huge sound came through, and it reverberated through. It's like this awesome, like, chime, you know, like a big bell, and it came through, and all the ceiling shook, and the ground shook, and all the land now, and then the life forge just kind of fell straight through the ground. And as far as we know, there was no cavern down there or anything like that, not before they used it. So it's a little bit embarrassing, to be honest. And I talk about it because the life forge was mine, and I'm not embarrassed. But the rest of the dwarves are a little bit upset about it. You know, it seems like a little bit bad mark of their reputation. You know, we're guilted now. And when the Enclave come and look, and we ain't got the life forge anymore because it's fallen through the ground. It's not going to look very good, is it? Because they were the guys who kind of commissioned it and used it and kind of paid us to make it, you know. So 2 years now, it's been, don't know, gone.
Was it a natural disaster?
Well, as far as we know, yeah, but it wasn't like any earthquake I've ever seen, and I've seen it for a lot, you know.
Check it out. I'm gonna go.
Feel free to go and have a look. It'll take me a while to get up here, and I'll get the old stove going, and I'll
Alright.
make us something.
Any of the old?
Oh, aye, plenty. Yeah, we make sure the team brewers and the guild brewers send their tithe through, and they make a fair amount. We've got some rock sap brew and all kinds of stuff in here, so it'll be a great party.
I'll take a bag.
It comes in bags. Sounds great.
I'm getting one.
I head to the hole, but I'm going to take my time because I don't want to see this one having a shit.
So you guys have run off to the hole. Who else is going to the hole? Everyone's going to the hole?
Yeah, but similarly, she's sort of in that vague direction, but
Yeah.
specifically not paying attention to
Lovely.
Wesley.
You get down to the bottom of the stairs, and as you walk down this terrace, and there's multiple houses kind of lining each side of it. What look like houses, they're kind of built into the stone. You do see. Oh,
I've got a subscriber.
Hello
Big
there.
Papa G has subscribed.
hi there, Big Papa G.
Thank you
Nice
very
to see
much,
you.
Big Papa G.
He loves toilet humour.
Yeah, I like a bit of toilet here.
That is greatly appreciated. Thank you for the subscription.
As you walk down this way, it's pretty obvious to see what they're talking about because there's a great big hole in the ground. There's a large, what looks like a forge on one side of the hole, and then this kind of jagged hole-like structure that's literally just circular, straight down on the ground. It's actually taken part of one of the buildings with it. So there's actually a huge stone pillar that's just fallen down into this thing. And actually you can see kind of several floors on the inside of this building that's been kind of torn down as this hole's been emerged in the ground.
Felix is going to hold our arms while you
Oh, it's like on the poop deck.
pinch him.
I'll lean over and hold me out. Don't let me
Easy,
go.
easy.
It comes out easy when you're that scared.
From a distance.
There is a dwarf stood fairly close to you. Just watching this.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Just 2 seconds.
Yeah, the big guy's giving us authority.
Yeah, stand by.
Yeah.
What God?
He's just kind of looking at you. And when you get closer, you realise the voice you were hearing, the kind of muttering and the tuttering was this individual. But he went pretty quiet when he saw your approach, and now he's just watching you defecate off the side of this hole.
Oh, it's just his trade.
It's just a big toilet trade.
Easy.
It's like he watches you slowly approach as you.
Alright,
Have I
we're
got
keeping
any
a slight distance. you guys.
You see what's happening.
I don't have any
One
parchment.
thing that I should mention
That's
that I
fine.
haven't. On one
Not a lot of
side,
fibre.
on the opposite side of the forge, there is a large, what looks like a forged metal, what looks like a crane, a lifting arm. So it's a huge crane. It's probably about 20 foot across with a big lifting arm over the top. And there's actually an incredibly thick dark metal chain that goes down into this hole.
Felix is looking at that while he's holding.
Yeah.
From the end of the chain comes a voice. What the hell?
Is it Big Carl?
Yeah.
That's the chain at Hinkley Point. Big Carl. Biggest in
Is it?
Europe. Yeah, it's called Big Carl. It's nice.
How long
That's
does
what
it
I got.
take for the plot?
I'd have to do maths to figure it out.
There is no
We have
plot.
time.
What am I gonna do? Yeah, we have time.
We
Figure
have
it out.
time. Yeah, take your time.
What is the airspeed velocity of a poo?
The European.
99.8 meters per second is how fast a poo would move. What is terminal velocity? How accelerate? What was terminal velocity is, I don't know. Depends on surface area.
Yeah.
But
What you ate.
Yeah.
Granola.
Just
It
grenade
was a treat.
and mashed
Yeah.
potato.
Yeah.
Mashed potato.
that is gross.
Are you guys quite done?
I don't know. You'll ask him.
Where was he?
Below.
Find out.
You just think you'll come down here and poop in the hole?
We were told you to.
Hold-
Comes out the hole into the hole, is that right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Holston said to. I was desperate.
Holston sent you down here.
Yeah.
That figures.
Do you not like him?
I don't like whoever you are.
Are you waiting to poop in your hole?
No.
Okay.
You guys, have you joined?
Are you
As you're walking down, Thanaeus, can you make me a stealth roll, please?
Ooh, stealth roll.
Yeah. Should get a winky one though.
Yeah.
Winky biscuit.
Ready for
Drink.
Biscuit.
You are the chosen child.
That is 4 of the team.
14. Passive perceptions of whether you've seen him or not. If you beat a 14, you have seen him.
I do.
13.
I haven't seen him.
You haven't seen him. So Thanaeus, you have been seen by Lantrix.
Perception 9.
Found from the gilded hall you were in, you found actually a series of very small tunnels in like service corridors or delivery corridors. Through much tinkering and intertwining and the occasional unlocking of a door, you managed to make it through a small alleyway between, that was almost undiscoverable between 2 terrace buildings. It obviously was almost like a servant's entrance or a service corridor that got you to where you are. You imagine you could find it again if you needed to.
Okay. Please tell me they're not doing what I think they're doing over there.
Yes, they are.
Oh, good.
Done. We're dunning
Yeah.
what you were thinking.
As you look a little bit closer to the dwarf, if you choose to, you notice that he is wearing armour, so he is actually armoured. He's got plate mail that covers most of his body. It's incredibly well made to a point that it's interlinked on his fingers and his hands. And actually, he isn't helmeted. So he's not wearing his helmet, but you do see, almost as you look at him, his skin almost looks quite chiselled and almost stony, which is kind of hard to... It's the first dwarf you've seen like this.
He works out.
No, not like fleshy, like almost rough to the touch. No, it's like it's almost as if he's made out of a little bit of stone, but it is flesh. It does seem to be moving, but it's kind of stony and rough.
Rhino-y.
Yeah, a little bit.
How close does this guy resemble what was in the manor
Right.
in the whoops
Oh.
Smashies. We had some
Um,
stone dwarves in there, did we? Does he look like a
fairly similar.
Fairly similar.
Fairly similar.
enemy? I'm not enemy. I'm sorry. No, I didn't shout that. I was going to. I was going to. Are you Goric?
It's a wrong thing to shout when you've got your trousers round your knees.
I'm not.
Yeah. Do you know Goric?
No.
Pleasure to meet you.
What's the deal with this hole?
Opened up in the ground about 2 years ago.
What are you doing next to the hole?
Sometimes I come and shake down it.
Does it ever shout back?
No.
Cool. Cool.
That there's my building.
The one that's cut in half?
Yes.
That is unfortunate.
That's my stuff down there.
It's got crap on it.
I noticed.
He actually said you can come down and have a shout in the hole.
It's really hard.
We all go down and shout in the hole from time to no, shout! Oh, bloody hell!
There's been a terrible misunderstanding.
Oh, I do apologise.
Holson sent you down here, did he?
Yeah.
Can take a wee poo in my hole.
I was desperate.
He built this life forge, he did, you know.
Yeah, I heard.
He said, yeah.
Took half my house with it
Yeah.
and all my stuff.
Is there anything of worth down there?
Is
Not
there
anymore.
anything of worth down there? You be down there in a minute. And I won't be commissioning no crane to dig your ass out of there.
Oh, the crane.
You're being kind of threatening. I don't like the sound of your tone. I'm also trying to eat a BM.
I noticed.
Would you like a BN?
You're taking
Delicacy.
a ration off you.
Delicacy of the elves.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want anything of elves.
Yeah, how long
They
ago?
come here, they take our stuff. They took things from the life forge and now my house is on the ground.
Ignore him. How long ago was the hole?
2 years.
That's a long time for you to still be digging your stuff out from down the hole.
Have you tried to operate that crane?
I-
It's a little bit, it's a wee heavy, you know.
Challenge accepted. I will operate the crane.
Good.
I will operate the crane.
Yeah, it does have a crank handle. It's geared, so it does
I might
actually
go
help
back
you
into the
with crank
shadows, you know, I think.
But it is, you know, it's an incredibly dark hole in the ground, so it's hard to see what you're actually doing. And it's got a massive, thick iron chain just hanging down. You don't even know what's on the end of this chain, right? Or what it's touching. It's just kind of hanging down this hole.
Have you tried chucking a light down it?
You could climb down on the chain holding a torch.
I'd climb.
You
Yeah.
with a little light on the end of the hook.
What kind of stuff's down there? I ain't gonna go down.
Well, half my bloody house
yeah,
for
but
one
like
thing.
the good half, or like the drawer that's full of shit. You know, everyone's got a drawer.
Maybe in your
batteries,
house.
Cables.
Just a
Slap
couple of
on it,
lights,
eat whatever you
cables,
want.
yeah. Is it the good stuff or the
Drawer
bad
full of
stuff?
shit in your house because you just go wherever you want.
When you need to go, you need to go.
Most of us go to the privy, you know.
I asked to go to the privy and it was.
You can't go in mine, you know why?
Because it's down.
It's down there.
It might have got it.
Where do
You
you?
never know.
Where do you go then? Where's your privy?
Well, I have to use
Holson's.
Holson's.
You know, Holson.
Yeah.
He uses the hole.
You use the hole, don't you?
I don't use the
Stop
hole.
judging
You
me.
don't.
I don't
Yeah.
use the hole.
You clearly use
I've never used the hole.
When we go down there on that crane, what are we going to find?
You
Old
won't
turd.
find
A whole load of
Mate.
dwarf shit.
Yeah.
People come here. I had to hit one. I started one fella the other week because he came and threw a copper piece down it,
No,
making a
oh.
bloody wish he was.
No, listen, mate. You're
And half my house isn't there. Where's my wish?
Well, it's your
What am I
cop-
getting?
It's your copper
2
now.
years it's been down there.
You're very aggressive. Why don't you just get a different house?
Just get a different
Get
house. You
that-
don't. They give you your house.
Yeah, but just get that dickhead to pay for it. It's fine. He
Who?
smashed your house. What's it?
He's not going to pay
It's
for the
Holson.
house. He hasn't paid for the repairs, has he?
Not at all.
No.
Emma,
He's saying, "Oh, it's not my fault. Chain came up late, came up to the roof, and it was all the enclave they used the life forge."
Yeah,
You know what he's like.
Who surveyed the land?
Yeah.
Surveyed the land. We're dwarves. We know there's no cavern here.
Well, it bloody is now.
There was no, yeah, but there was no cavern here 2 years ago when that chain happened.
Have you been down there? You've
No.
checked? There's no natural cavern down there?
No. Well, there is now. Look at it.
No, but you should probably go down and check.
I'm not going to do it.
Who does your insurance claims?
Look at me. Do I look like a young fella? Do I look like a spring oxen coming down here? Going, oh, I'm going to go save my house.
No,
Let me crank the crane. Come over here and crank the crane. Oh, you big strong man, you go on.
yeah, well, you're all hot air. You're all very passive aggressive. 2 years ago, okay, LifeForge smashed your house. 2 years. Hasn't been a single insurance investigation. That is outrageous. I come from a city called Asher, and if something like this happened, there'll be insurance men here, legally split.
I don't know this word.
Insurance
What's that?
is where you pay just in case, and then when it happens, they still don't pay out anyway.
That doesn't sound like a good idea. Why do people do that? So you give someone money,
Yeah,
and you're like, I bet you half my house isn't going to fall into the ground.
that's correct.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that was going to happen, so why would I bet on that?
Well, then you're a fool for not paying for it.
Well, I didn't know my house was going to fall on the ground.
But anyway, there will be some kind of court case.
What's the court?
You have a group of elders that get
council?
together and a
We
council.
are the elders. Oh, unless you mean the enclave, but they
Yeah.
don't do stuff like that.
Yeah, but then, didn't you all get together and be like, whose fault is this? Who's going to pay?
No.
Liability? Have you
Went
ever
up to his
done
door
that?
and I went and stored him.
Yeah, this is a problem.
Could you not have just moved house? I mean, it's pretty derelict down here. And you can
What are you
have
saying?
that house. Nobody lives there.
There's no one about.
And they got a working privy. It's not
I'm
down
not
old.
living there.
What about over there?
I'm a guilted member. This is my forged house.
But what's your
This is
long,
where I do my trade, you know.
what's your long-term plan? You gonna fill in this hole?
What's your 5-year goal? Come on.
Talk to us.
We haven't got any people to come and fill this hole, have we?
And you're just gonna stand here.
I talked to the Gilded Masons, but they were like, oh, me knee, I'm getting old, you know. And they won't come up here and fill this hole, right? And I talked to the League of Adventurers, well, one of them, because that's all that's left. And he was like, oh, my back, can't go down the hole,
Yeah.
you know.
I think you have.
So what do I do now?
You
You've got
have
half a
had-
house.
You've had a loss in your workplace and could claim for compensation.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, there's a blame.
From
Yeah.
Equa now.
There's a claim.
Is that where I'm going to write to Equa? His kind and be like, oh, sorry, my house fell in the ground. Can you help me out?
No, but
Excuse me? His kind.
Sorry. Is this what the women look like around there?
Yeah, they're really tall, right?
Very little, you know, like little.
Where are
wee
the rest of
bees
you?
explore away. Where's the rest of me? What are you talking about?
Where are all the other dwarfs?
I'm normally this height.
No, not the rest of you.
I was born half this height and I grew to this height. Is that good enough for you?
This is why we fight wars, you know. Where are the rest of the dwarfs?
What do you mean,
Are
the
they
rest of
down
them?
in the hole?
Well, there's me, there's Holtzen. You haven't met Darren Earon. It's hard to read, sorry. I'm getting old. Darren Earon and Bumwagon.
Bumwagon?
Bumwagate, sorry, she gets mad when I say that.
Oh, I've met Bumwagon, yeah.
But where are the rest of your people? You can't just be half a dozen dwarves living under this mountain. Where your whole civilization, where are the rest of you?
Hey, they're all in the hold of the ancients now.
You're all dead.
Aye?
You're all that's left, the half dozen that are here.
Aye.
Where did he come from? Is he perving on me doing a shit? Where'd you come from?
He was in the hole.
What are you talking about? He came with you. He came with whatever that
You
is.
didn't come with me.
He just came down that hill, 2 point years coming down there.
To watch me have a shit. You come down here to watch me have a shit.
No, I came down here to specifically avoid watching you have a shit.
You have
trust
You
this
really came
fella.
out your way, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you,
beyond PG-13, man.
We are getting banned from YouTube.
Yeah.
Not only have we offended the Scottish,
That's it.
What's your name,
Short
sir?
people.
Oh, sorry.
what's my name?
Yeah.
You came all the way down here, didn't even ask my name, took a pull my house.
Didn't ask my name.
You know?
How are you doing?
I don't care who you are though, do I?
Well, I don't give a crap who you are then.
Well, you don't, because you just took a crap on my house.
I do apologise about that. Let me start again. Sorry.
I'm Barry Gotham.
Sorry.
You can call me Lord Ashon, right, if you don't mind.
I will. Sorry, my lord. Lord Ash.
Armour.
Arm.
Look, I'm wearing it.
Oh,
All right.
Lord Army.
How obvious do I need to make
I'm
it?
sorry.
Very
I don't want to wear
descriptive
this for my
names.
own health. You know, it's heavy.
Who are you wearing it for, man, if I ask?
I'm a guilty member. You know, people need to know.
Who
what
are you
the
showing
other
off to? No, nobody's here, are they?
day- Well, Holson might come down here. He's stopped wearing his armour, isn't he?
Yeah.
Wearing his pyjamas, just working about the place.
Who's he wearing it for? Nobody goes outside because you'll flirt away, so...
I'm not going outside. I
Exactly.
don't do
You flirt away, won't
that. I'm
you?
not even going to the Gilded Hall. Too much oxygen, you know.
Oh, is that really?
Hey, it makes you mad. Have you seen him in there?
No.
Drinking, going crazy stories, thinking about
crazy.
going
That explains an
outside.
awful lot if they're
Oh
crazy.
no, it's too close to the door. They comes in through the door, they get a smell of it, and
Yeah.
whoo, they end up like her. Look at her. It's her, isn't it? I'm talking to you. You can talk back.
We're
you
here
know.
to see your king. You're a lord, correct?
You gonna talk to me, King? Are you? Is that right?
You're a lord, is
Great
that correct?
elf, come down here. I want to talk to your king. Go on then.
Okay. Where can we find your king?
I'm not telling.
I'm gonna shout in the hole. King!
He's not down there.
He's gonna keep shouting. What
I'm
do you
not-
shout down here?
Yeah, you know, just stuff that angers me.
I'm gonna let it all out.
Do it.
Well, I won't.
It's quite good.
There are kids
Well, not
singing,
like
and we
that.
don't want to get banned from YouTube.
Don't let all that out. Not down the hole.
Just to confirm, is it possible to speak to your king, please?
Did you bring her with you for a laugh?
She's the intelligent one.
Is she? Don't look like it. Come down here. What gives you the right to talk to my king?
Caston, I wonder if you might encourage him.
I've already. What's the
Give
word?
him a stoating.
Stoated him.
Can you make an attack roll? Go on.
I've come from like all heated up from screaming and letting it all
Caston's
out of the
the
hole.
enforcer.
Is the muscle.
He's a
So
muscle.
it is a 10.
10.
Clunk.
You take it. Are you just hitting him with your fist?
Yeah.
Yeah, you full on punch this armour. And it feels impervious, is what it feels like. It feels incredibly strong. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's very
Can we
well
do it
forged, isn't
again?
it? Yeah. It goes off like a gong. Wong.
It is 23 this time.
Sensing the error of your ways, you punch him in the face. It feels kind of odd on your fist because as you hit it, it does feel almost like you're hitting a compliant stone. Is what it feels like. It's almost like you're hitting a stone that just shifts ever so slightly under your fist. He knocks his head back and then almost staggers a little bit and puts an arm on the ground. He's only short, so his whole hand, his arm's probably half his own height, right? So he holds himself on the ground. Kind of gets himself back up again. Oh no! Oh, that was quite hard, actually. I'll give you that. That was quite good. How about this? And he's going to swing back at you.
I'm going to let him have it.
You let him have it. Oh, bless you. That's very kind. He only does one damage to you.
Oh.
But it comes keen.
but it's
it
a
comes
big
keen.
one.
Yeah, it comes keen.
Are either of them teetering over the hole?
They're relatively close to it, right? They're kind of like within 5 feet of the hole. So they are kind of, they're having a little bit of a twang. That was alright, wasn't
I'm
it?
going to give him a big old pat.
Yeah.
That's a stoat.
That's a stew, wasn't
That's
it?
stoated.
I think you enlarged one of my teeth. Alright,
Oh, you've knocked some beard hair out.
that's good. I like
No.
that.
I don't
I
know.
like you.
I don't know if you're aware, but I actually have a skill.
Oh. You do. And what is your skill? Why don't you tell me what your skill is?
And I've used my skill once in the past 10 minutes to repair a man's teeth.
Have you?
Your teeth look a little troubled.
They ain't been the same for a long time. But mind you, my cooking isn't very good ever since my stove fell in the hole. So anything you could do would be greatly appreciated. As long as you don't put your fingers in my mouth. Because I'll be honest, I don't know what you've been.
I'm going to need to put my fingers in your mouth.
And then I don't want it. I want no part of it. I'll keep my 5 teeth and the one he just knocked out, and I'm fine.
Fine.
She's the intelligent one, you see.
You're a butthole. You should listen to the lady.
Why?
She's the intelligent one.
10 years ago, one of her kind came down here, and I'm not quite sure what you are, and you make me frightened. So I don't like you. One of her kind came down here, took the anvil, dug it off. Wholesome invited him into the bloody house, didn't he? Brought him in, made him some supper, made him something to eat like. They sat down, had a conversation that night. He's gone. Anvil's gone.
What can you do
Then
with
we got this reverberating nonsense. Half my house falls in the hole.
No, but that was 10 years ago and that was 2 years ago. What was the importance of this anvil? Whose anvil was this?
When you ask Wholesome. It's none of my business, I don't care anymore, and I don't really care for you lot.
No, but what if we knew where this anvil was?
What are you talking about?
What?
It's not mine anyway. I know where my stuff is, it's down there.
Is it his?
Wholesome.
Is it
Well,
important?
he forged it, but I suppose it belongs to the Enclave. Most of the stuff around here does.
Is it important?
Is it important? No, we just make stuff for the fun of it.
I'm gonna try and figure out whether that was sarcasm or not.
I can read it.
Sarcasm, Rob.
Sarcasm.
You can make a perception check if you want. It won't be hard.
Six.
You're unsure. Yeah, he seems to be truthful.
So you make fancy anvils just for the fun of it.
Anvils.
Oh yeah, we do. Fancy anvils for the fun of it. That's what we do.
Fanvils are us. So this anvil that was taken away 10 years ago wouldn't be at all important.
Not at all, no. Not important in any way.
No?
No, just made it for the fun of it. Well, you ask Wholesome, he knows. I told you what I do. I make likenesses and I make automata, and that's it. They're my two things, and I'm very good at it.
You make likenesses of what?
Whatever you want. What do you want me to make a likeness of?
These golem things around the place.
Aye, some of them are
They're
mine. Yeah.
yours, are they? Do they?
A lot of the shops you see there are mine as well. I could
Nice
even make
work.
one of her, and that'd be a hell of a job.
Do they
Top heavy, you know, elves.
move?
It's amazing the heads stay where they are, you know. That little tiny spine, you know. But I support the ears as well, and they're heavy, you know. It's amazing they don't just flop around in the breeze, you know. You look a bit more stocky, if you don't mind me saying. A bit more to you, you know, a bit more meaty.
I'm not completely elf.
Ah, that'll be right.
So yeah, these things you make, are they just statues, or do they move?
Some of them move, yeah. I can make some of them move if you want to make it move.
Wow.
Not like Wholesome makes them move though. Mine's more traditional, you know. You know, like moving parts. You know, making things move naturally, shall we say. The whole Life Forge nonsense, now that's a relatively new craft. Some say it's an old craft that's been reimagined, but for me, I just like my things a little bit more traditional, you know? Until the gnomes came about and kind of put us all out of business, but that's another thing.
Let's go and talk to our friend. This guy's rubbish.
Hypothetically,
Oh,
if I was to crank your handle and retrieve
Why?
some of your goods,
Yeah?
what are you going to give us?
Right.
I used to crank a handle daily.
Did you?
All day, every day. Crank, crank, crank. I could crank that baby all night. Wouldn't
You
even
don't
break a
know,
sweat.
do? The problem is with likenesses and automata is they're often made out of stone. Now, what I've got down there, and the only thing I can commission brings up things that are, you know, made out of metal. You know, it's like a big thing. You know, sometimes you get these things, you dig them out of the ground, and you notice all the metal kind of goes straight to it, you know?
Never been digging, sorry.
No?
No.
It's like a special thing.
This is the first hole I've seen.
Yeah,
Do
the
we know
Guild of
what
Alchemists
items
gave
are
it
in
to me.
this
It's
one?
like a big old special thing.
Yeah.
And all the metal
Like
goes.
this,
Because they couldn't go down there and we're all too weak, you know, we're all a bit old now. And so I needed a thing that would attach to another thing without me knowing what's down there. You know?
Kind of.
And Wholesome thought it was a good idea because he's lost some of his stuff down there and he wants to bring it back, you know?
Cool, we're going to go back and see
So
Wholesome.
you need the thing that will attach to the other things. That's what you need to go down the hole.
It's already.
It's already down there.
It's already
on the
down
other
there, so
chain.
you need that to bring up. You need that to bring it back up.
No, I need my stuff back. It's in the hole. The thing that attaches to the other thing can only attach to things made of metal.
Right.
But I had no choice, you see, because I wasn't going to go down there myself. But if you lot are going down, then maybe you could bring some of that stuff back. I mean, I'm happy with that.
I could climb down the chain.
Talk to Wholesome. He knows what he's
I
doing.
can literally climb down the chain otherwise.
Does it
So-
sound like there are any monsters down there?
You make a perception check.
Well,
What?
monsters, but I bet it doesn't smell very good.
Wah, wah.
It is 10.
10. You can hear the sound, a distant, very distant sound of trickling water that seems to echo around. Other than that, you kind of put off by the fact this chain obviously isn't stationary. It seems to be clanking every now and again. It's a very loud clank, which is strange because you can't feel any air movement.
It's fine.
Seems fine.
Well, what do you want to do? We want to head on now, or do we go talk to Holton first?
Let's talk to him.
Let's go and talk to
He
him.
might, as well, he might want
Your
something
man,
as
here,
well.
your man here seems to think that talking to him first would be a good idea.
Cool, and then we got all the skills to go down there. It's not
Yeah.
No point climbing the chain twice, is there?
Yeah. Although you will have to down and then up.
Only got to climb. You do climb down, you're right. Yes, yes, you are right, yes.
I've seen you new.
Bye, Lord Armour.
Ashon.
Oh,
Sharp.
sorry, sir. Didn't catch that bit.
That's all
I thought I was your friend, so I abbreviated.
And he makes old tomatoes.
You know that it abbreviates to llama,
Lava.
so you should put that in.
Lord Lama.
Yes,
Oh no.
that's what he likes.
Doop.
Cool, let's get this
Llama.
dude.
In the Holton's abode.
But old man. But they're all old man.
They're all old men, yeah, it's quite obvious. All old people, should I say. You walk back to the Life Forgeman, as what's written over the door is Life Forgeman. You notice as you walk back that there are these 10 stone steps leading up to what looks like a beautifully carved door in some kind of dark rock. There are a couple of windows here, but they're smaller and kind of intricately designed, but obviously more designed to let light in rather than kind of be peeped through. You can have a peep if you want. And there is some carvings above the top of the door, and they're incredibly intricate as they go around the door. A lot of it seems to be almost hieroglyphic in nature, but there is some dwarven. There's a intricate design that you've probably only seen in kind of since you've joined the dwarves. You noticed some of it as you were coming up the highway, if you like. There was kind of these dwarven faces carved into the ground. Around the outside of the door, there seems to be faces, pictures of dwarves, but intricately carved almost within them are small runes that you kind of make, and either in the beard or in the eye sockets or in various places. And the way they're positioned around the door seems to give them their meaning as a whole. And their meaning of a whole, it kind of tells this story of the discovery of, or the rediscovery of an old skill that's kind of been reimagined and been used to almost take life, bend it, it does use the dwarven for bend, and to impress life on something else. And that's kind of the story that it's telling around the outside of the door. You meet Holtson again, and Holtson is just getting through the door as you get back up. He's holding his back. He's got his metal / wooden, almost like walking stick. He's leaning on more heavily now. Oh, you done now, are you? It's nice to see you all again. It's nice to have guests. Are you alright? You leave yourself, did you, down the hole?
I did, and I got a telling off from your friend.
Forget him, he's in Egypt.
Why has he got a face made of stone? What's that about?
He's always been like that.
Has he?
Yeah.
That's not unusual.
No?
Well, I've seen a lot of stone-faced geezers back at the manor.
Is that right?
Yeah, they were out. They weren't no fun. They weren't no friends.
What are you talking
They're
about?
grown
man?
in jars. Do you grow them in a jar?
In a jar? What are you talking about?
Dwarves. They're grown in jars.
No.
That fellow's grown in a jar. I'm telling you.
What are you talking about, a manor? Where is this?
I don't know. Where was the manor? Renthari Manor.
I think I missed this episode.
Renthari, no?
No, we were there. You were there. We were there.
Can't remember this.
Renthari Manor. Stupidly, the bloke puts all his doors on the ceiling. Mental. Don't know why. Upstairs.
Elinari Renthar.
Who knows? Possibly. Does that ring a bell?
Yes.
Yes, Eleanor Marie Renfell, yes.
You
Second
met
floor
him,
to the
did you?
top. Just linking.
Oh,
Glass vat after glass vat after
knew
glass
that doesn't
vat.
surprise me.
With a load of stone geezers that look like him.
10 years ago I met him. 10 years ago he came and he sat around my table and he ate my food.
Oh yeah.
That night, he was gone. Home in the anvil it was. He asked all these questions about the Life Forge, was really interested. I thought it was just a nice laugh, you know. We just saw him kind of scooting about the town, you know. Just kind of wandering about. We assumed somebody had let him in, but I'd let him in. We went and had a chat and we thought, oh, well, the elves have come back to apologise about time. You know, when he came in, asking about the Life Forge and about, you know, us all going off to the hold of the ancients, you know. Was seemed really interested about it, he did. Had all these weird ideas, you know. And I put him straight, kind of said, look, once you're gone, you're gone. You're in the hall of the ancients now, you're in their keeping, you know. Best not to mess around with that kind of thing. You cannot create life, you know. You can move it from one thing to another thing. You cannot create it.
Yeah.
The only thing you can do with life is move it or destroy it, and that's it. And we know that. We take our time with these things.
Well, I think he had a tough time. I don't think he managed to reanimate who was trying. It looked like he was turned to stone as well. So
You cannot do it.
no.
You cannot do it, I tell you.
Well, he stole the forge according to Lord Ash.
No, the anvil.
Well, the anvil, that's the one. Yeah,
That's it.
that's the one we've
Well,
got.
we
here.
assume so, you know, he left in the night and it was gone.
Well, they had one in his manor. Two. Can you
You
see
seen
the
that?
dots? Yeah, we told you.
We know
Did you?
where it is.
Yeah, we
I
know
don't
where it
remember
is.
this. Who is he? When did you get here?
I'm with these guys.
Has he always been here?
He's
Yeah.
watching me take his poo. Weird.
I was here all the time.
Well, I believe him.
Close the door when you go to the toilet. You'll be there.
Peeping.
Through the
You
window.
a peeper.
Peeping. He'll be
You little
peeping.
peeper.
He is a peeper.
Why do you keep him around if he's a peeper? Anyway, we're wasting time now. Come on in.
He sees things that other people don't see.
Now, Fernlight, can you help me out? Can you cook?
I
Can you light me a fire?
I can give it a go. Yeah.
Go right in, past all the desks, nobody uses them anymore. Go right in, through the back door, on the back wall you'll see my stove. Just light it, there's food already on there, it'll cook a little while, but go in.
Yeah,
Alright.
He'll do that.
I'll get there. You lad, take me arm, go on, help me along now.
I'll lift you up on my
No,
shoulders.
no, none of that. None of that. Just help grab me arm now.
Alright, come
You
on
know,
then. I'll-
be gentle.
Oh, yeah.
You haven't even said hello to a man, you don't go under his skirts, you know, just help me out.
I'll grab your arm. I'm new to this.
You go in and there are actually lined, there's stone desks, and there's 12 of them in all, 3 and then 3 and 2 kind of in 4 rows. There is a big stone door at the back. Felix, you go ahead. As you go through, there's like a living quarters. There's a big stone table that's made to seat 10. There's a what looks like a stove at the back with a huge pot on top of it. There are casks around the rooms. There's kind of 4 down one side and 4 down the other. Obviously quite a lot of them. He's well stocked. As you walk through the door, you hear a oh, come down now. We got some guests. Calm yourself down.
Forgot he said the other dog. Does Felix see
Facial
it?
XP.
You don't immediately see it.
Yeah.
And it's quite loud and growling. It's coming kind of from your right.
Yeah.
But you don't immediately see anything unless you deliberately peek round the
Yeah, he's
door.
going to look for it.
So around the side of the door, you see a 4 foot tall and about 6 foot long stone dog. It's articulated. It's moving as if it's alive, but it would almost look like a bulldog statue. Huge, great jowls. Very loud, almost noise coming out of you as you walk through the door. Don't worry, he won't bite. He's soft as anything.
Oh, he's going to
Sniff his butt.
You're gonna lower his stance, like soften
over
his
on his
ears,
back.
and just take a bit of like a submissive stance.
Roll
Is he
over.
chill?
You just go quiet.
Yeah, he's surprisingly real looking.
It kind of like, you can imagine he was originally sleeping behind the door, very close to the door, and as you
Yeah.
opened it, he kind of jumped awake.
Yeah. Okay. He's going to continue on to light the fire, but he's not going to leave that point.
Yeah.
He'll come back.
He's watching you as you kind of walking.
He's all good.
As you walk through, you all can see this scene again, big stone table. As you look closer, you realise it's carved into the ground. There's these 10 seats that all look to be carved into the ground as well. And they're pretty simple. They're just like stools that are almost carved directly in. Funnily enough, they're even carved them so they have legs. They all have 4 legs, but they're all carved into the ground, which seems a little bit superfluous.
Yeah.
But, do you fellas want a drink? Sorry. Do you all want a drink? We forget genders, you know, when we're guilted. It's not really a thing we think about quite a lot. It's not like we're off breeding, you know. That's the only thing. The guild members now, they're always at it. You know, but not us. We want to be enclaved one day, and in order to be enclaved, you have to put off your beard, you know? Do you know this expression? Does that translate, put off your beard?
No.
I have a horrible idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, put off your beard. You know, like you don't... You're no longer a member of either. You're kind of...
What? I put off your member? Yeah.
Well, yeah, a bit of everything like that, yeah.
Well, a bit of what like that?
Oh, your beard.
Oh.
The whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Put it off.
Put it off. It's a daily ritual. You got shaving, yeah.
Oh, right.
All over.
Lovely.
Daily.
So nobody knows.
Grows back every day.
Yeah. So you just... You put it all off. You're no longer kind of a... Because it's hard to explain to an outsider now that you say it out loud, but the Enclave are like the sitting members. You know, the whole point is they remember everything. And they know exactly why we are where we are. And it's your job to make sure that the future generations of dwarves remember what they've been taught and what they've been told.
Can I point something out? Wholesome, not really rude, but there is no future generations.
I was
of
just going to
dwarves.
say exactly the same thing. Where
Yeah.
where are all these future generations? Where are all the rest of the dwarves? There's
Your
no.
penises off.
I've had
I
a
don't want.
I've had a good look round this place. There's nobody here.
I know.
You love your tradition, don't you?
Where is everybody?
Without tradition, what is there? What have you got left?
Your mad friend down there said that
Oh, hey, you're
said that
talking.
all
Gone to
the
Ashland.
rest of the dwarves were dead.
They're gone to the Hall of the Ancient Hall.
Right. So that's not specifically dead then.
Yeah.
Right. So where are all these future generations of dwarves going to come from? Are you growing them in jars?
No, don't be silly. You cannot do it. I told you, you can move life around, but you cannot create it.
So where?
I've been around 150 years ago. Yeah? The Guild of the Witness is closed. Now, that probably doesn't mean a lot to you though. I mean, they sold the goat milk and mead, you know? The stuff that you feed the wee ones, the wee bairns. Now, if it closed, they're going out of business, you know.
So you stopped this. You stopped having more children.
Just stopped.
But that was only 150 years ago. You guys lived for centuries. Where did everybody
Oh,
go?
you're thinking of the elves? You got 300 years, max.
Still. Where did they all go?
You get old, start succumbing to disease, you know. Some of us have been digging a lot of our lives, you get problems with your lungs. We're all getting old now. I'm going on for 300 now.
Tell us about the Life Forge.
What would you like to know? It was a commission.
When?
Let me think about it. It was about 100 years ago now. Now, I was the only gilded dwarf ever to be guilted in his first year. Do you know that? Guilted in my first year.
Well done.
I formed my own guild. Nobody knew. Everyone was laughing. But it was an old tradition, the Life Forge. Now there's a rumour, if you like, an old story. So one day, and it's told multiple ways, but one day, way before I was born, we were visited by a herald. Some people say it was an elf, which is why we don't like your kind very much. But we were visited by a herald And they said that one day this would happen. That we grew too insular. You know, we stopped talking. We retracted. You know, we didn't go outside. We stuck to our own. We stuck to our tradition. We had things that we cared more about in life than children, than we want. And they said, you're going to experiment. And we did. The Life Forge. We were pushing life beyond what it was supposed to, they said. But you know, it kind of fell out of favour. You know, people stopped with the work. And people said it was because of the curse. But then we kind of forgot about that and we got working on things. And then, you know, like I said, the Guild of Wet Nurses closed. Now, I was becoming a dwarf at the time. You know, does that translate, becoming a dwarf? You know. Becoming a dwarf, like,
I can't speak Dwarven, so this is all
Reaching
becoming a dwarf.
maturity.
Ich am na dwar na da. It roughly translates to becoming of age. I became a dwarf, and then I thought, look, I've got to do something, you know. I was only a wee bin, and I was becoming a dwarf, and the Guild of Witnesses closed already. There were less and less of us. What can I do? Well, the Life Forge, you know. And I thought, well, if I can prove that I can move one life to someone else, something more sturdy, you know, that's going to last a long time, thousands of years, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the answer, you know.
So you were trying to put the lives of your people into the golems?
What do you mean tried?
You succeeded.
Of course. What do you think I'm here?
Are you a golem?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Look at me. Think I'd be bent over like this? It'd have to be Ash Armor's work, you know, making likenesses of stooped old men.
Why are you not a golem?
You can move the life, but you cannot control it. Sometimes you get lucky, look at my dog. Great laugh. Dwarves, more complicated. They lose something themselves, you know. Some people choose to remain whole.
How did you make this forge? What is it?
Hard work, right materials.
And now it's at the bottom of a great big hole.
Ah, some of it, yeah.
And what materials are these?
No, I don't think you're much of a craftsman. So it'd probably take me a long time to explain it. But I'm willing, if you're willing to learn. Now you need a conduit. Something that will take the energy of a life, you know, and hold it long enough. Now a life is fleeting. Nothing quicker than death, apart from maybe monarchy. But nothing quicker than death. As soon as you're dead, you're dead.
Or British Prime Minister. They're pretty quick.
In and out.
In and out.
Revolving door.
Strong and stable.
But you need something that will hold the life. Conduit. If you can trap the life essence in a forge, hold it there with the conduit, use something to press it into a substance. You know what I mean? Like, really, it's probably not translating well, I apologise, but press it into an object. You can forge a life. Forge it into something, you know.
And what is this conduit?
Well, I made it fairly readily. There's a rare ore. I don't know the Barakdun, you know? Like a what do you call it? You walk outside and there's this great noise and you see light flashing down from the sky.
Lightning.
Lightning, yeah, but the sound.
Thunder.
Thunderstone. It contains energy, you know, like energy, like when you, magic, the essence. You can contain it for long enough, but you can't have just like that. There's a rare material that does. It almost grows. It's like an ore, but it sprouts from the ground. Some say it was the tear of a fallen god, you know, but it's this. It's green and it's see-through, and it. I only know the dwarven, but it's like what do you call it when somebody who's really old puts his life in something? You know? Do you know what that is? Like a box or like an object.
Like an urn.
A bit like an urn, yeah, urn sounds right. It's like an urn jade, you know. And it can... Well, the thunderstone can take the energy, but it won't hold it for long, whereas the jade, you see, it'll keep it for long enough. You can make all kinds of things from it. I thought you elves knew that.
Like medallions, for instance.
Aye, yeah, if you want.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, so what
It's very rare.
sort of...
Some say you can't find it anymore, but you can.
So, how big an object would it require to store a person? A whole life force?
You won't hold it for long. In transit, I mean, but you can forge it into pretty much anything. A spoon, bowl. You wouldn't have much of a life though, would you?
Or make him into a spoon.
I would if I had the forge, that'd be a laugh, wouldn't it? But I never used it. I made the forge. I never used it. Not the
used
life
it?
forge. I made smaller forges for me, but not the life forge. That was a commission for the Yonclave. They came and used it once. That was it.
And what happened?
Don't know.
Does it,
Oh.
does it still work?
Don't know. It's in the ground. Anvil's missing.
Now, how long after they used it was this this chime?
Oh, they used it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Talking about 50 years ago now. Dead of night. Didn't even know they were going to use it. We were all sleeping in our beds with this almighty scream.
They just used it once.
As far as I know. We don't see much of the Enclave. It's not really something we see these days.
Seem like some shady people.
And the anvil?
Well, like I say, 10 years ago now. Your friend, your man, the man of the manor, you know.
Yes.
What, he came to have a chat with me. Is that food done yet? What are you doing mucking about there?
But, yes. I don't know if these guys are speaking common or not.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone speaks.
In which case, I understand everything. Yeah, the food is ready. What food? The stove was it on?
Grot stew.
Oh, was it on the stove?
Yeah, it's on there. It's
Oh,
just the bowl there.
There's
a big
prob-
pot.
It's probably fine.
Yeah. You look in there, it's a mixture of some kind of grain
Yeah.
and some kind of like meaty substance and something that's kind of floppy. It looks like a giant mushroom or something, and it's like flopping about in it. It smells quite nice.
Does his nose think it's done?
Yeah, it probably was done before and you're reheating it.
Okay, cool. I've got a few questions about your dog.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, are you fond of him? You want to keep him?
Yeah, I want to keep him as my only friend.
Oh, that's quite sad.
He's quite lonely.
Do you think?
He'll outlive me though.
Do you thi-
It is a forever thing
Yeah.
now.
so,
Probably. I mean,
yeah.
he'll live longer than me.
Do you think one small enough could ride him? He's mixing.
You carry it, isn't he? Yeah.
Do you think could give it a go?
Ride him about. He'll probably have your leg.
Well, maybe we'd be friends.
Well, I'd make friends first, you know. I like don't just jump on people's shoulders, if you know what I mean.
Hey, you jumped on mine.
Well, I didn't have much choice. You were right up there, right in my skirts.
I needed to use the facilities, you see. Just hurrying you
You were
along.
quick. Yeah, I understand now. You had to go.
What if he just used the facilities?
That's true, yeah. You almost did screw me to life. Almost had to change my role.
Oh, no, I'm sorry about that.
Felix is going to attempt to befriend this dog.
Make an animal handling check.
Befriend
Or
the
giant
dog,
stone
yeah.
dog
Does
handling.
it count as animal handling if you're already an animal? Isn't it just handling?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Is it
handling.
proficiency if you have stone cunning?
Yeah, proficiency if you have stone cunning. I'll allow it.
Can I use my inspiration to roll twice and choose the biggest? Or does
Yeah,
it-
you
should
roll
be able to,
advantage, yeah.
Command point reroll.
Yeah, 20.
Command point
20,
reroll.
no.
Plus, yeah, plus 3, 23.
Nice. Yeah,
He's just
He's your best mate.
yeah, he's
it
just
helps the smell of grout stew.
yeah,
Have a great day.
yeah. He's just gonna like rub it.
He rolls onto his back, but you realise like his head is probably 3 foot across, right? So
Yeah.
even on his
Blimey.
back, he is probably about as big as you are.
Yeah, of course. And Felix knows all the tickler spots.
Yeah, and it's stone. Like to touch it, It's
Yeah.
solid stone.
That's fine.
But
On your
like to
big
look at
boy.
it, it almost
On
looks
your
flexible.
big boy. It's just, and right under his chin.
He's got these big jowls that like flop
Yeah.
down or reveal these huge teeth. They're like kind of a foot, if not a foot and a half long.
He's gonna put his paws in his mouth. It's
He's
like,
fine with
dogs love that.
And again, it's stone. It's
Yeah.
like it's stone all over.
Yeah, and he's just gonna whisper in his ear. He's like, "Can I tell you a secret? I'm gonna ride you like a warhorse." Oh yeah. But not like that. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool.
1000 XP.
And as the dogs intimately play with each other, we're going to take a short break. It's short break time, everybody.
Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy.
To reclaim my voice more than anything. If you found my voice, if you can post in the chat, I would like it back.
Over there in the corner, look, there it me.
He's in the hole.
It's in the hole. We'll be back with you in 8 of your Earth minutes. Looking forward to joining you right back here. So sit back, relax, enjoy the artwork that will come up, and have a lovely time.
Of no
See you
current
soon.
characters.
No.
Yeah, if anyone chooses
If
to,
anyone chooses to make more artwork, we'll be
yeah,
very happy.
good, bad, or otherwise, you
We're
can
happy
post
to-
it on @DieRollingUK, our Twitter channel, and we will display it on screen.
You can see @RollingDie Rolling UK across the bottom of the screen now.
Nice.
If you could pick it up.
Well,
and
at
notice
some
it.
point.
If you
okay.
could go
Yeah,
to @DieRolling on Twitter and just give the guy some abuse, that would be great.
Don't give him any abuse.
@DieRoll. Oh yeah.
No
Yeah,
abuse,
that guy.
because Elon Musk has said that he's going to be cancelling inactive accounts. So you don't want
Oh,
any.
nice.
You don't want any replies.
Yeah.
Because then his account will be active,
Oh,
and then he
nice.
won't get. Yeah. So leave him alone.
Yeah, we'll also print off your work and put it.
We will put it on the wall. Yeah, you get an honorary place on the wall.
Honorary place.
Which gets a tattoo onto you as well, the best.
Yeah, that is true.
Ah.
The best one gets tattooed. And if you want to see the tattoos, OnlyFans.
It's
Yeah.
that
Head to
camera over
OnlyFans.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Look at the lower camera and you'll see all the tattoos.
Subscribe just like Big Papa G
Yeah, big
Who has
property.
access?
Lucky
there.
man.
Yeah,
And
and
access
down for the wall.
to all
Love
of
that guy.
Rich's tattoos.
Rhubarb on Gushler Dashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you soon.
I love rhubarb, Costa.
so glad.
You want to catch all of them.
You got to catch most of them until you give up on the Game Boy game.
Yeah.
That's the.
And then you realise you don't have any friends. You can't trade with anyone.
Yeah. Let's still remember all 150. Let's do it right now. No, let's not do it right now.
That's because you didn't have a friend called
Poliwrath,
Stone.
Mewtwo, Scyther.
He had every Pokemon.
Welcome back, everyone. We have spent the last 8 minutes recounting all the Pokemon we know. Turns out quite a lot.
Snorlax #1.
Number one.
Well, we're going
baby.
to get all 150. Is it 150?
The original 150.
Yeah, 150 Generation 1 names subtly dropped into the second half.
Second half, yeah, just in the
Yeah.
second half. So it'll be spaced out, but if you play in reverse and put all the circles together, they'll be in a random order. You will get all 150 Pokemon.
I'd like to point out I'm having absolutely nothing to do with this nonsense.
Well, there you go.
It's not the spirit of a Pokemon trainer, is it?
I have no idea what that is. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking
Ash
about.
Ketchum would not have you in his party.
Don't worry.
Look how the weekend.
He's a bit
I've got a
oddish.
lot to learn. I've got a lot to learn. He's a real oddish, if you know what I mean. Real oddish. Wow. And we're back in the room.
How many
So
players?
who digleted this hole?
You're playing with the dog. You're both having a wonderful time. You're both having a wonderful time.
And listening at the same time.
When you listen to
Do you
this.
think we could leave him here?
Wholesome rumbles around in a drawer in the way that only old people in their own house do, where they don't know all the stuff is. Draws out bowls, which obviously are stoneware. Come on, it's a theme. And they
Is it Onyx?
It's onyx. Well done. Start putting out these onyx bowls. And he also brings out a few goblets. The goblets are huge. They're probably like a pint inside these goblets. There's a little tiny wee stem and then a huge, almost like chalice on top. Also made out of onyx. It's a set. You can take what you like. The ale's over on, well, my left, your right. And the other side is the rock sap stout, which is really nice. But just go a bit steady on that, like, because it's strong stuff, you know. Yeah, that'll do you in, so just be careful.
Looking at you here, Kessler.
Already had a half.
They are, so one keg on either side is tapped, all the others are kind of stoppered, but a couple of them haven't tapped.
The anvil. You were
Oh,
going to,
yeah.
you were going to tell us something about that.
Was I?
I
What
think
was I going to
so.
tell you about that?
I hoped you were going to tell us something about that.
Was I? I don't remember that. What was I saying? Was it important?
Well, I mean, it was just moments ago.
What would you do if you got the anvil back?
Well, I need the anvil, and I'd also need the billows, the crucible, and the forge is still there. So, I mean, with an anvil, probably nothing. But I don't know, if we had the billows and the crucible and we could put it all together, then maybe I could do something.
We are being commissioned to head down the hole. Lord Ash Armour would like some of his stuff back, so
I bet you would, yeah.
we
but
could.
I know I was gonna bring you in. You look like fit fellas, if you don't mind me saying. Even for your age, you're looking very trim.
Spend a lot of time working out.
I know, I'm impressed. It's very good of you. You must drink the right stuff, you know.
Mashed potato.
Mashed potato.
Milky mashed potato in the morning.
Straight down the hatch, yeah.
Buttery in the evening.
Yeah. I know that. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, that'll get you a 6-pack.
Ah, will you?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, so I know I was all gonna have a drink first, but I mean, I did think that might be why they were sending you up, you know, from the Gilded Hall. They know about the hole, obviously, because I mean, word gets around. You try and hide a hole, you can't hide a hole. You know, we ain't got a tarp big enough to cover it. And even if you do, some idiot will fall down it. They come in and be like, "Oh, look at this lovely tarp standing on it." Before you know it, you get people in light coloured jackets come round with clipboards, started making sure you don't stand here and there, you know. So none of that. We just left it as a hole. So they know about it. And I thought maybe they were sending you up here. I mean, you don't weigh much. You could probably just float down, you know, just like down in the hole there. Take a look, see if you can see the stuff, you know. I mean, the crucible's bloody heavy, but it's made out of wrought iron, so... I mean Ashorn, Lord Ashorn was not particularly bright, so when I lended him the money for the crane, I thought, stick a magnet on the end, because then you can bring up a crucible with that, you know. We'll get him to do it, and you go down.
And what's the importance of this crucible to you?
Oh, come on, you got, like... You have a forge, you know what a forge is, right? Big hot thing, yeah?
Yes.
Crucible is for, you make something really hot, what are you going to do with it? You got to put it somewhere, don't you? You put it in the crucible. Because it'll withstand whatever the material is inside it. Without it oxidising and turning into crap. You know? And when you're dealing with somebody's life, you don't just put it in your boot, you know, or like just on the floor. You know, you got to put it in something. So you forge it, you stick it in the crucible. Now you need the conduit, which is the anvil. So you need that there. And then you can use the bellows, but not just any old air, you know, they're not blowing it, you're going to make it. So it only blows the purest air through it. Tiny little gauze. Through there, nothing goes through but the finest air. You're
Dyson.
forging a life,
It's a Dyson.
you know.
Must be. V8
You put it all together, and what you can do is you can hold a life long enough. The conduit there in the anvil, in the crucible long enough, you forge it into anything.
No.
Now I used it for that, but I mean you could use it for anything. We've got arms masters, we've got forge masters, whatever you want. You put it back together, we can forge you something. That means I can start working again. Maybe we live a little longer.
No, but in the previous room, you mentioned that we might be able to see the king.
Oh yes. Well, first, we'd have to vote. Right? And if we all agree, well, maybe then we can introduce you to the Enclave. But they won't like it.
Okay.
Would they be better disposed towards us if we retrieved your items from the hole?
No. I would say yes. But let's be completely honest. I've got a vested interest. So whether you choose to believe me or not, it's not going to hurt your chances now, is it? And if you do, you certainly got my vote.
We're going down that hole, aren't we?
You have a choice. You're a free man. You can go and leave, go and fly up in the sky, but I'd like you to go down the hole, yeah. I probably should have told you that before I let your friend take a poo in.
That would have been a really good idea. That would have been an incredibly good idea.
I know, but I didn't want to be rude. You know.
Under these circumstances, I'd rather you had.
I know, but dwarves have got a reputation. I try and be hospitable and invite in other cultures. We don't get a lot of people around here, in case you haven't noticed.
And your reputation isn't too friendly. I don't want to
I know.
rain on your parade. Oh, that's all right. I thought you were under
You've
the
already-
impression that
you've
you
already
guys,
done that.
Yeah, that you guys
Oh,
were
my
re-
reputation.
No, your reputation, and just the dwarves in general
Aye.
were very. I thought
That's
you might have thought you were
I
very
assume that's
hospitable.
why people were staying away.
Yeah.
But you know, we've got a rich history and some of it's deserved, you know.
I mean, this is a very personal question. You haven't got to answer it, but I'd like you to.
Okay.
It's going to
Lay
sound
it on me.
stupid. I
Grab
know.
yourself a drink. Talk to old Uncle Holtzum. Let's get it
Sir
all out.
Holtzen, you made the Life Forge
Right.
because everybody was too busy to have children.
No.
Why did nobody have children then?
Tried.
Oh, I thought you just hadn't have time.
No.
I was going to say, I've been on the inter-transmissions device, and from what I've heard, it don't take long. I was thinking,
Aye.
how can you not find time in the day to procreate? But that,
No,
okay.
people were trying.
I
It just didn't
misunderstood.
happen, you know.
Okay, yeah.
And it got less and less.
Yeah, no lead your pencil.
Well, maybe.
Mm,
Maybe it's something else. Maybe we are cursed.
yeah. Right.
Maybe it's too long on the ground. I don't know.
That's all right.
I know what I know, and there's not much of them now.
While you're chatting, Elantrix is going to just duck and then leave his room.
Side up.
Sorry.
Cider.
She's going to gold duck and leave the room.
I'm
Gold
impressed
dip
with how much
inside the
Pokemon you
car.
know, guys.
She's going to gold duck, and then she's going to use her Ashari lens when she feels she's sort of.
You're gonna hide on the table.
just going to leave the room
Oh, leave the room. Full on leave the room.
while you're chatting, and then go out the front, make sure she's sort of in a
Can
fairly
you roll a stealth roll?
in
I'm obviously going to ask that. aren't I?
pretty good. Yeah,
Pretty
good at 19.
While she's leaving the room, I'm going to take a large swig of the wrong drink.
The rock's out.
Yeah.
He doesn't even notice you're there. Yeah, you're gone. You're out. The rock stout, you pour it and it comes. You turn the tap and there's a delay.
Always a good
And
sign.
it comes out and it's relatively thick and viscous and it's black. You can smell the alcohol on it as it's going out.
See if
Um,
saw her later. He does.
He does look in. It's probably why he's just trying to go steady now. Go steady. You know what it does? It cleans the pipes, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Aye, just go a bit steady now.
So-
You take a swig, and can you make a Constitution saving throw, please?
Yes.
It goes down. It burns the throat slightly, should we say?
It sits on the stomach like a bunch of white bread, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Immediately, you worry for the top half and the bottom half all in one go, and it
Oh,
burns
that's-
the whole way.
That's 8.
You get a +3 to your saving throws when you're near moi.
Ah!
Plus
If
3.
you're within 10 foot.
Oh, that'll do it.
11.
Immediately, you stagger, but you regain your composure. You're all right. Everything's doing okay.
That's quite good.
It is, isn't it? You notice that Wholesome noticeably warms to you. Either that is because you're a little bit tinged, you don't know, but he seems to be more appreciative now you've had a drink.
Excuse me.
You're outside. You get out the Ashari lens. Beforehand, it was said to be dithering between two locations. It still seems to dither. It seems to come out, occasionally flick back the way you came, but then most of the time, it's pointing towards that hole.
Okay. Yeah, she returns to the room.
Where did you go?
Thank you very much. Come on, guys. And she's just going to instantly try and corral them to leave the room.
Oh, were you leaving already? I thought you were just having a drink.
I was just having a drink.
No, we must get down the hole.
Well, that's quite good of you. Yeah.
Can we take one to go?
Alright, yeah. Take what you like. I thought you'd stay a while, have a chat.
Well, can we? I
Sorry?
don't know,
We got a bag.
I don't have a. I won't go in a bag. It tends to eat through the leather. You know. After a while, it leaks. You know.
does anybody want a rest before we go? We're not in peril. We can stay just for
You're
an
not in
hour
peril
or two.
here.
No, we can have a stay. Does anybody? Does that benefit?
It's up to you.
I feel like I could sit down for a bit.
Um,
I'm going to climb down that hole.
I could do with an hour.
Yeah?
Like just refresh
Have
some
some
things.
food, you know.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, I'm fine. Yeah, I could just do with I could just do with some things back. I'll take an
Yeah,
hour.
we'll take an hour. This hole's not going anywhere.
No.
Well, there you go.
How does the day-night cycle work down here?
What do you mean?
Is it always this bright outside?
Oh no, not entirely. It does dim. It dims, but never completely goes out.
Where are we on that cycle?
About midday, I'd say.
Oh, perfect. I'll have an hour.
Uh,
Siesta, yes, have a siesta.
See, that was the problem. We first had that, and the Guild of Witnesses shut, but shortly after that, about 50 years later, and I was working in the Life Forge, well, no, I'm just saying what happened, so don't take anything the wrong way. We knew the gnomes were working fairly hard, and they were, you see, dwarves are very secretive by nature. We keep the trade secrets in. People come to us, and we go, oh, what would you like? And they talk to us, and then we get them in. The gnomes are pretty free. You know, they're pretty open about what they're making. They like to talk an awful lot. They give it all away. And the elves found that quite positive. You know, before we know it, less envoys started coming. The gnomes started making headway with inventions and wearing things and all kinds of stuff. They set up that bloody university, you know. And before we knew it, they were less and less. But they were still coming for the ore. You know, they still needed the raw materials and they still needed what we had. And that was before the elves started getting it from elsewhere. We don't know where, but they say they pushed south. and started strip mining down there. You know, like just ripping up the ground. Probably using the humans to do that, you know, because you can pretty much get a human to do whatever you like. And before that, they stopped as well. No war, no trade, dwindling numbers. And that's why we end up where we are today, you know.
And that's where tradition gets you, I guess. I
Well,
don't want to be offensive.
steady on
I
now,
don't wanna be
steady on
offensive,
now. Feet into my house, you know.
The inflexibility hasn't proven very fruitful, has it?
I'm plenty flexible, look at this. I can do that all day long.
Would you?
Strange ping noises as he leans back.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
I'll cost you that.
It'll come back. About 3,000 gold.
Cool, well, I'm going to sit into a chair and just eat some grub. And
I've met many
That'd be
elves in my
great.
time and they're not normally impatient like that. Is she alright?
she's on some bloody quest.
Is she?
I'm only after Goric, but don't even know what she's after, to be honest.
No, the Gilded Questers, they went a long time ago. Not a
Get
lot.
her in there, she's very
You
interesting.
don't last very long questing, if you know what I mean. It's not a long-term
You just
occupation.
float away.
Well, yeah, some
Go
of them don't
outside,
come back.
yeah.
Some of them don't come back. Some of them dig too deep.
Do you believe that?
Oh, I'm gonna fight a thing. Look at the thing that I fought. Isn't it great? That's a good way to get stowed. You know?
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you really believe that if you go outside you'll float away?
Well, I'm not an idiot, you know. I know that you float away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's told you that?
Well, you just know it.
Are we all idiots? We've been outside, we don't float away.
Ah, it's just luck.
Do you think?
Ah, maybe.
Do you know how many people do you think
You got
live?
special shoes. What do your
No.
shoes look like?
I don't even know, to be
Do you
honest.
huck onto the ground?
They look like a nice set of I don't even know what business shoes are. Not boat
You
shoes.
can imagine
In
if
dock sides.
if you spend your whole life
Yeah.
without seeing endless nothing above you.
Yeah.
Imagine what you'd feel like if you saw. Imagine if you walk out somewhere and there's endless nothing below you. Imagine that.
That sounds pretty scary.
It's unsettling, right?
Yeah.
So maybe okay. I level with you. Maybe you don't float into the sky, but equally, some people just like it underground.
That's fair enough.
You know.
Lovely.
What are you rubbing out? What you got over there? What you hiding?
We're
from
doing a
me?
short rest, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna just recovering hit die.
Dangerous move, sucker. Now we got you.
Stoughton! Give him a Stoughton.
I forgot Felix was exhausted. I guess he's not.
Oh, you are. How does that work again? I assume you're
Because I
not.
drank
that.
a bunch of booze.
Oh yeah, and got
Who's
exhausted.
on
You're
the
a
beer?
bit. You're a bit pished, weren't you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend having any of that barrel.
Yeah, go on. You can not be exhausted.
Sweet.
I think it's meant to be a long rest, but
He's
for the
having
sake of
a
this,
little
you're fine.
power nap.
A little power nap with the dog.
Hair
On the
of the dog.
On the dog.
Yeah.
Under one massive stone
No,
dog.
on the dog.
Yeah, it's fine with that.
I'm going to move to the slightly less lethal barrel.
Mount the dog.
Yeah, there's a lovely like ruby ale comes out of this. When I say ruby, it's a rich red colour. It's not quite fruity. It's almost like fortified, but it's a lovely ale. It sits pretty well. Only the good stuff down here. Being guilted.
Nothing wrong with your guild of brewers.
Oh no, they're in full force.
Yeah,
They're
okay.
doing all right. Probably the most confectioners as well, you know.
Brewers and confectioners.
Yeah, they make little treats, little
We're not
sugary
them.
things.
Very nice people.
Yeah, they're all right.
Very nice,
People were a bit funny, but people were funny about me. 150, 200 years ago, they were funny about me, you know, and look at me now.
Thriving in this society.
Thriving as much as I can. King of the slag heap, you know.
King of the slag heap.
King of the slag heap.
You'll have your life forge back soon.
Just so I get a feel for the timeline, sorry. When was the last dwarf born? Was that 150 years ago, did you say?
Around the boots, yeah, I couldn't give you an exact number, but that was when the Guild of Wet Nurses closed.
150 years. And nothing significant happened during that time? Or about 150 years ago?
Well, about 200 years ago is when the elves stopped coming. I was about around about when I was born. And then we had the Guild of Wet Nurses closing. That was about 150 years ago, give or take. And about 100 years ago is when I was commissioned to make the Life Forge.
The elves stopped coming. Why are they still coming again?
Couple of reasons. Well, they still came, but they came only for ore, you know, and then they stopped coming for the ore. They were getting it from
undercut
us.
them, didn't they?
Oh, okay.
Undercut them.
Yeah, but what did that affect fertility?
No idea.
That was happening before.
Before the gnomes?
Well, the rumour is we were cursed.
By who?
I told you, like an envoy. Before I was born, a long time. 350 years, maybe.
An envoy from where? Sorry, from the...
Well, some say it was an envoy of a god, and some say it was an elf that said that we were messing with powers we didn't understand.
Okay. Down the hall?
Down the hole.
I will remind you all that I am a pro climber.
Good luck now. You can stay the night. I mean, we're in no rush. I've been waiting 2 years now to get my stuff back, so I don't need it now. Right now, but
All right.
if you're ready, you go on down there.
I'm good to go. We good to go?
Don't let Asharna talk crap to you. Just ignore him as an idiot.
The man's a fool.
Yeah, he's not great. But you know, you got a choice of 3. So if one of them's an idiot, I got the other 2. They're alright.
Cool. Nice.
Well, I'm not feeling drowsy, so let's go.
Is that a joke? I don't think they sleep. do they?
Oh gosh. I've already had a little Snorlax over there.
Yeah.
Just 144 to go.
Count them off at home.
Let's go.
You can go to the hole.
I finished my drink. And
To the
Let's
hole.
Have you
zap
got
dose.
coffee?
Go into
Oh,
the
my favourite
hole,
Pokemon that was.
baby.
thank you
Is it
very
empty?
much for the drink.
It's empty.
How was Ho-Ho a legend, like the legendary bird? You got Zapdos there, like, come on, he's full number 1. Or she.
You retrace your steps back to the hole.
They.
There you go.
And you do see Lord Ash Armour still there, looking down on the hole. There's
Don't
somebody.
get about a lot, do you?
What are you talking about now? Where have you been?
Well, we've been gone for a couple of hours.
I know.
You've just been standing here looking down that hole.
What else am I going to do?
We're heading down, Chief.
Are you?
Lord. Holston's going to get his forge back.
Have you met Bumwage yet?
No, not yet, no. No, we haven't got time for that. Bum weird. We haven't got time for bum weird yet.
Have you
No,
not?
no, thank you. I already
No.
did it. Thank you.
Well, she's lovely.
How do we operate the crane? We'll meet her when we come back.
Have we already met her?
No, we met Duck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met Duck. You met Duck? She was lovely.
She's alright. I
What do you
don't
mean
mess
alright?
with the gilded lot.
She was very nice.
I bet.
She gave me a wink.
Did she?
Still got it with you?
Well done.
How do we work this crane then?
It's got a crank, isn't it?
Oh, crank. I used to crank all day. Crank, baby!
Push it around, yeah, crank.
Cool. I'm going to head to the crane. Who's getting on?
I think Felix is probably going to
You're going to
climb it and then climb down the chain.
keep going down the chain.
Yeah, I think he's got a torch. No, I'm going to have to borrow a torch.
Oh, can you not see in the dark?
I've got, yeah, but it'd be best to light it up.
I kept giving torches to the birds. Well, I can throw you a torch.
Good. See,
Right, I'll go with.
can you climb?
Yeah, I can climb.
But you don't have climb speed, do you? I think that's what Josh means.
You can still come with your. It's
Yeah.
an open invite, but we might have to end up saving your butt off.
Saving your butt. Well, I said I had a torch. I do not have a torch. I think I've given them all away.
I've got
Lies and slander.
I've got torches. I'll light a torch.
Yes, he's coming.
I'll light a torch.
Is it dark?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, very dark.
Right, what's...
The light penetrates kind of 40 odd foot, but after that it is dark. Weirdly enough, now you're kind of investigating the hole. It's sheer, so actually the rock isn't sheer rock, but it does go straight down, which is kind of a weird thing. Like if it had fallen into a cavern, you'd expect it to kind of undulate in some way, but it's like a circle. It's almost like a perfectly formed circle, which is a strange thing to behold.
Ring.
She will cast guidance upon you before you start climbing,
Pont.
which will give
A
you
palm tree.
a minute of some kind of thing, some kind of positive plus.
Nice.
Excellent.
1d4 to something.
your decision making. Can't make a wrong decision.
1d4 on any ability check.
Right. Cool. Well,
For 1 minute though, so get going.
Okay. Okay.
Away which? Yeah. So
Wherever Felix goes, I go.
you need to climb the lattice work. Yeah.
Yeah.
The truss.
I'm going to climb the truss.
Climb.
Climb the
truss.
Have we got
Find the
this,
Liz.
this chain central above this hole?
Yeah, it is. It's right in the centre. It's been lined up perfectly and not used.
I'm heading to Crank.
You're going to head to the crank.
Where is Phineas at the moment?
I'm
You're trying
climbing
to
down the chain.
climb the truss, which you are going to have to make either an athletics or an acrobatics check based on how much he's showing off.
I'll use athletics.
Yeah.
17, sir.
Yeah, you managed to climb it. It is it's well worked, but it is metal, so you kind of it's quite easy to climb up to this like climbing frame. So you're kind of climbing up to the top of it.
And you say the chain was moving before.
It's clanking slightly under its weight, which is a bit weird given that you don't feel any breeze in the air.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay,
a
I'm
black
somewhere-
metal chain. A blood gully.
Black metal
Do we-
chain.
Do we bring the chain up rather than climb down? What if there's something on the bottom of it?
I can't hear you. I'm already over by the
Okay.
chain.
Must lead into a tunnel below.
I'm just gonna lean over and shout, "Sorry, below, I can't hold it." I'm gonna present.
Wow.
Presenting your ring to the ring.
I'm not actually gonna do a
Oh.
poo. I'm just messing with
You're
you.
going to do the
But
big echoing fart down.
Maybe I'll drop a bit of ration down or something. Mixed with some of this horrid beer.
Thick squelchy beer.
Oh,
Oh, lordy.
Straight out of you.
I'm going to start cranking. I'm going to assume they're
crank.
on.
Are we standing on the end of the chain, or we're just holding onto the
Felix is
chain?
going to climb down.
I'll follow you down.
It's going to be pulled back out in a minute, so it's going to be like a constant moving.
Okay, that's fine. We'll find
Oh, no,
treadmill.
we're going down. We don't need to. No, actually, let's bring it up.
Send it down.
We want to go down.
Yeah, we need to see what's on the end of the chain. We need to hook something to a chain. If there's a hook on it or not a hook.
It's got a magnet on it. We were
Does
told.
it? Does it have a magnet?
It's got a
Yes.
magnet on. It's got a big magnet on the end of it, apparently.
We gotta go and find the thing.
It won't take long. We're gonna. How long? Yeah, we're gonna crank. We'll crank it up. It won't take long. We'll just crank it up.
I'm not too bothered. You do you. It's
Okay,
cool.
so
You
now
crank
we're
it?
coming back up out
Yeah.
of the hole, holding onto the chain.
Crank it.
We're
You
gonna
can
crank it.
make a athletics check with advantage.
Make a
because
cranking
You are
check.
good at cranking.
Easy, baby.
It's canon that you are good at cranking.
I've cranked all day long. We've got a 16. A 16.
Double 16.
Double
I like
16.
It. Yeah, it's pretty easy to crank this chain. You're
Cranking.
used to this. It's a very thick chain, and a less supple individual would have struggled. But you're cranking this
Done some
thing
curls.
like you've never cranked
Yeah.
before. And yeah, it's literally just clank it up.
Like
You
a
notice-
master yachtsman.
Yeah, absolutely. As you're cranking it, what you realise is there is like a toothed gear.
Oh, yeah,
It
nice.
doesn't just fall under its
Yeah.
own weight. It will just clack, 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 clack,
Yeah.
clack all the way up. It looks like you can release it with a lever.
We know the fast way to
That's how
get
you
down,
release
then,
it.
don't we?
So you crank it up, you
Oh,
crank it up,
no.
you crank it up, you crank it up. It takes a long while. It's kind of a surprise to you.
I'm
Yeah.
starting to
Um,
regret this.
Is anyone trying to count how long this thing is, or are you just going for it?
Just want to see what's at the bottom.
Crank,
Till we
crank,
can
crank,
see
crank,
what is at the bottom, or one of these guys can reach the bottom,
Nice.
and either they fall off into
Yeah.
Mr.
But
Johnson's
you're
void.
cranking it up.
Yeah,
So
So
we're now
we're not
having
gonna
to
risk-
we're now having to scramble to stay level.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. That's fine.
This is fine. I can climb at 20 for you.
Keep cranking.
For 6 seconds.
Which you can use to calculate the length.
Yeah.
I can climb exactly 20 foot. So I know how
Every
long-
6 seconds is another 20 feet.
So it's coming up, it's coming up, it's coming up. A good kind of 2 minutes pass, 3 minutes pass, 4 minutes pass, 5 minutes pass.
Who said he couldn't crank the train? Some old geese. What's Lord Ash? What's he been
I just
doing?
pulled the lever and it fell.
Oh, right. Oh,
It
my
falls
God.
under its own weight, you know.
Oh, okay, cool.
This chain is
Excellent.
like a good 400 to 600
Yeah.
foot long.
Oh.
It's a long chain.
Around about
Power
that
of metal
time,
arithmetic.
you see a large, probably 10 foot across disc,
Oh, perfect.
Raise up.
Does have the magnet, that's all.
almost platform shaped.
Yeah.
10-foot across disc. It's obviously metal on the top and it has rivets around the outside.
Yeah.
You can't see the underneath. You assume there's some kind of large magnet underneath. But yeah, the 10-foot across disc is the top. You are probably slightly impressed with your own strength that you managed to crank this thing up for so long. But it rises up. It's kind of 40 feet below, and that when it hits that 40 feet mark, then it kind of comes into view. And then you kind of raise it up. You can raise it so it's level with the
No,
precipice.
I'm going to let go,
So
pull the
we will-
warhammer off, do a spin, cleave the lever. The boys are going back
Hang
down.
on, are we now standing on the magnet? This magnet has
I
come
would
up.
have thought so. Yeah.
Guaranteed.
So he's
We
going
are-
to kill us.
We're now standing on the magnet.
It's fine. You said you wanted to go down. We're going down!
Hopefully we're on the top of the magnet.
Who else is standing on the magnet?
Just,
to point out.
Well,
It's a
we
10-foot
haven't
disc.
gone yet. No.
So of us.
Just
two
you
of
two.
us.
Cool. And you're gonna
Okay, yeah.
sweet. Do you guys? You could probably make a reaction move to try and jump off the magnet if you wanted to, or you could just.
No, because there's a
stay
big
on.
fucking hole.
Well, there is. So
Magnet.
it's 10 foot in the middle. I just describe how big
But
the
as
hole
you fall
was in
eventually,
width.
you'll catch up with the magnet.
Yes, so when the magnet hits the bottom, we'll be underneath it.
You do
Just
realise
just
you're
jump
killing
as
us.
before
I'll pull
it
the
hits.
brake.
Just-
I'll pull the brake.
So let's say that the hole. I can't remember how big. The one metric. I don't know how wide the hole was, but let's say it's 20 foot. So within 10 foot, it's kind of a 10-foot gap. You realise you can pivot the crane as well, so you can actually pivot side.
slamming us against the walls of the cave as we go down.
Did you say the bottom of the at the bottom of the chain there's a magnet on?
Yeah, but it's like 10 foot across.
Got a platform
flat
to stand on.
disc.
Yeah.
Why not?
Do we? So we
Oh,
know it's
that was
going
just
to
that was the
stuck to
name
that
of
magnet.
Pokemon. So
Oh, well done.
I didn't have a look.
Yeah.
Magneton.
Yeah.
Well done.
You just double checked it was on the bottom. Send it back
Really?
in.
Cool.
We're in dire peril, and
what I
you're
was
making
trying to describe
Pokemon
is
jokes.
because-
So it's going to be 40 to 60 d6 bludgeoning damage.
We'll stop you before you get down there.
How will you know?
How do you think
'Cause I can see a chain.
acceleration works?
Oh, I see a chain there.
And deceleration as well.
You just throw a spanner in the works, don't you? It's literally what you do. You're seeing it on all the movies.
But that's exactly the same as hitting a surface
Still falling.
at that speed.
Don't worry about it.
Still falling.
Unless so, going back a bit, you can choose to jump off the magnet if you wish. There are rocky surfaces around the outside.
But they're all covered in poo.
Yeah, there is that.
Who's pooing on the edge?
Okay, so the unless you choose to jump off, the magnet starts free falling. So you remove the lever,
Yeah.
and it will free fall. So the tooth gear is really well. You're an engineer, you know what this thing's called. The thing that holds the tooth gear in place is
ratchet.
a ratchet. A ratchet is removed, and the gear free spins. And the magnet does start falling. It's bloody heavy, is what you've noticed. So it falls pretty down.
I wish I
quickly.
could say it's been nice knowing you.
But it's also a 10-foot diameter flat disc, so
That's
it's got
true.
a very
Yeah.
high drag.
Yeah, there's a bit of drag. There is a lot of drag. You feel that drag.
Well, that's perfect then, because
Um,
all that it'll build up a big block of air underneath it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
when it gets to the bottom, it'll just go. Won't it?
Yeah.
Just, do you know when you're
Like
in
real life.
an
Yeah,
elevator, before you hit the bottom, just jump.
Hey, you already
Yeah.
Time
suggested
it,
that.
jump.
Yeah.
Jump off.
It might
Jump to the
attract
bottom.
like the metal zips of a bouncy castle.
let's just hope that the descent doesn't blow the torch out, so that we'll be able to see the bottom coming up.
Because you
It
can't
might
see.
be-
I think you can see
It
the
might be
dark.
best we don't.
But yeah, so you feel this rush of air coming up, and you start getting hit by strange smells, kind of mossy smells, smell of water. You
Yeah, yeah.
that as well. As you're falling down, you fall 50 feet. You fall 100
Pull the
feet.
chain!
About 200 feet until
You
I
fall.
engage the.
150 feet. You fall 200 feet.
Pull the chain!
We're going to engage the ratchet.
Well, you engage it. It does have a lovely kind of coiled spring. So as you're doing it, the gear doesn't immediately snap shut. It starts
No, because
slowing
that would
down.
rip the whole housing out.
I've seen it. What are you worrying about?
What a really nice DM.
What are you all worried about?
It's
Oh,
not.
the splattered you.
Yeah,
You got lots of water to jump off.
Yeah, I did have a lot of warning to jump off. It just hit harder than you would like, but not quite as hard as you thought
Just
it
one
might be.
broken leg.
Yeah, just that the occasional.
Sorry, it's got
broken
4.
leg. As you're falling by, you did notice, or you do notice, off to one side, direction kind of gets lost in the gush of air. Off to one side, there is some kind of whirring cavern that goes along. It's almost like a hole in the wall. Funnily enough, there seems to be almost wooden objects that are sharpened, that are like pointing out towards you, as if something is placed almost like sharpened sticks poking outwards to almost defend against entrance.
Luckily, the falling magnet has shattered those into matchsticks.
The magnet misses them, but you're probably about, let me just do some quick maths, you're probably about 100 foot away from them where you are, 100 foot below you, but this cavern opens up and you can kind of see into it just about.
Is the magnet active? Are they like attached to it?
It's a permanent.
It's a permanent magnet on the end of a chain, yeah.
So don't lean out and down,
Yeah.
because you'll never be able to use your sword
Oddly, it
again.
does seem to be directional. Don't question it. But yeah, so you
Alien magnet.
exactly.
It's magic.
Yeah, it's magic.
Magic.
However, it does stop slows down and stops fairly abruptly. Of which you are going to have to make an acrobatics check.
Did you make monopole magnets in a technical sense?
Who's they?
Some company in America.
Elves.
No.
Is that
Dwarves.
Yeah, they
Sounds
can like
gnomish
just
to
use
me.
like electromagnetism to have like the south and the
11.
north on the same
Did you
side.
say acrobatics?
acrobatics?
So you can have like a small south
10.
ring on the outside, like north in the middle to contain the
Ooh,
field.
I'm gonna
on one
ask
side
the
of the
age-old
magnet,
question.
on the other side unmagnetised.
How do you want to die?
There's definitely a magnet poking on the body.
Yeah.
Describe
Oh, yeah,
the
Magneto.
death of your characters.
Magnet. I've already done that one.
Sudden,
Okay.
painful. My legs went before the rest of me.
Okay.
Sadly, I hit legs first, and my knees have just come out of my nostrils.
And you guys were in a rush. I helped you on.
Yeah, apologies. Guys. You take 14 bludgeoning damage apiece. As the magnet stops, and you hit said magnet with great force. You hear an almighty
Okay.
clunk. The magnet actually sways and it smacks into the side a little bit, it kind of rummages around. You did succeed in your acrobatic strength, so you don't fall off the magnet. You take a fair amount of damage.
What kind of dick does that?
You guys seemed keen to get to the bottom.
I'm going to kill you!
This
Do you
conversation
want-
is taking a while.
I will,
The
yeah.
sound
Yeah.
takes a long time.
I'm gonna go, what did you say? And I'm gonna start winding back
No!
up again.
No! Stop!
What did you say?
I
180
don't
feet.
like you anymore.
180 feet.
I'll wind you down.
180 feet. Right, you're winding us down.
I'll keep winding down.
I'll wind us down.
Thoroughly amused from that.
You gonna crank it down?
Yeah.
I'm going to kill him.
Funny enough, you can crank it up. When you crank it down, the ratchet gets in the way. But what you can do is just release. You have to release the release it ever so slightly.
Oh, brilliant! So we're at the bottom of this thing, going clunk,
Yeah, it just clunks
thinking it's
down
every
doesn't it?
time we think it's going to drop again.
Yeah, a little bit.
Fantastic.
It just clunked just a little bit. It's fairly smooth, but it just did a sudden jutter.
Clunking on down.
Yeah, do you know, like when you're in the top of a lift, it just does that weird move where it almost drops by about an inch. You're like, well, the hell was that? And everyone just ignores it like it's normal. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
that. But it drops a little bit further than that.
It's the only way down.
It's weirdly geared, is how you describe it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is this open cavern that you're slowly clunking by. You kind of drop by about 5 feet at a time, so you're getting closer to these kind of spikes that are ladled on the outside. But it probably gets to a height where they're probably about 10 foot tall. So it gets to a height where you could probably jump it if you wanted to, but getting back to the magnet would probably be a bit of an ordeal.
Keep going.
Keep
Six
going.
at the bottom.
So you keep clunking down. You're clunking by about 5 feet every time. The first thing you realise is this thing is bloody deep, because you're not seeing a bottom yet. Unless you stop.
Unless you look up and
Unless you stop. You're going to keep clunking.
Clunking all the way down.
You hit 400 feet. This kind of cavern's now above you, kind of passing
You
above
know, this
you.
feels like a long way down.
And you keep going. You hit 450 feet. And when you do, you see another cavern open up on the opposite side of the previous one. I mean, not worryingly at all. The entire entrance of the cavern, which is probably fit for a cross, has some kind of silky, definitely spider-like strands on the outside. It's
Great.
almost hard to see into, but it's definitely full, should we say? That's on one side. And you keep plunking down, and it slowly passes you. You don't see any movement, but you do get
You
this
never do.
this sense of kind of air coming up now, and it just wafts the kind of webbing and various things as it comes up.
Hot air.
It's not hot; it's cold. It's cold. This sound of dripping water and moving water becomes louder.
Yeah.
As you go down, and you will eventually hit 500 feet. This webbing hole, the big webbed hole, is kind of passing you now, but it's a good 20-foot across. It's a big old cavern. When you drop in further down, you hit about 600 feet, and you see kind of two caverns opening up that kind of spread down below you, and the magnet hits something. All of a sudden, it starts tilting because you've hit something hard, and it's almost falling, kind of tilters. Unless you move your positioning, it's just going to drop down.
Felix goes for the chain.
Yeah,
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
You grab hold of the
Gonna
chain.
grab hold of the chain.
Yeah, you grab hold of the chain. And you have to be quite careful. These chains are probably 2 feet large. They're huge, right? So they're easy to grab hold of, but your hand in the wrong place would maim you,
Yeah.
right? That's how heavy this thing is. It clanks down.
So safe.
Are you
Still
deliberately going to try and push the magnet to either side, or are you just going to let it fall under its own weight?
I'm not going to start moving.
I'm
nothing
not really
about.
bothered, no.
Yeah,
No,
cool.
No, just
Um,
hanging off the chain. Let the magnet do its thing.
It'll slam one way, and it does slam, so it's almost like a sheer drop, and it starts grating down the side, and it's literally smashing stone as it kind of grates down the side of this thing. It's smashing down and down. You guys can see in the dark, so you're going to see, you hit 700 feet as far as you're aware. You start to feel a little lightheaded as you're down here. You're not really sure why. You start to feel lightheaded. And again, he's got this cold air brushing around, but you're not really sure what that is. But you hit 700 feet. You hear that noise?
That's the 700 feet.
That's 700 feet.
That's the milestone.
Yeah.
You hit 750 feet, and you see this cavern that's now going down at an angle that you're sliding down. It goes directly into water. And the dripping sound you can hear is it's actually moving around in the air slightly. It's making almost like a pool of water that's kind of sloshing under its own weight. This thing's dripping out the side.
Oh crap.
I'll be trying to cast message down, but I obviously know that it doesn't reach. But she'll be trying to communicate.
Yeah.
But we'll be receiving nothing back.
We need to start climbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just looking up how far an intelligible voice can travel outside for no reason. So it's
I
not slamming.
assume not 700 feet.
You are correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, Felix and I guess yourself, we will start climbing the chain so we don't end up drowning.
Yeah. So this magnet's sort of sliding down, scraping down the side. You're climbing up slightly. Funnily enough, all of a sudden, your crank stops and it clanks. As it clanks, this magnet stops probably about 6 inches away from this water. It's really, really close, but it's not in it. It kind of stops. You've no idea how they measured this thing, but it's almost perfect. You measure it's like in next to this water, but that's as long as your chain is going to go.
Okay, looking around.
Are there any fish gods?
I think you fish gods. I am the fish lord.
Come to
There
our
are now.
house.
There's.
Prepare to meet a stomachy air.
It's hard. You're using night vision, right?
Yeah.
So it's black
We
and
have
white.
got a torch
We
with
have
us.
got torches.
You got a torch lit? Okay. You see a glistening green stone. almost like a jade-coloured item. And it's actually coming around the mouth, the whole mouth around
Don't
this
say
water.
mouth. Please don't say mouth.
A big toothing, big giant chomping mouth. No, you see almost
Can
the
we
mouth.
see this light, by the way, from the torch?
750. I doubt it. Let's have a quick Google. Well, I suppose how far
It's
can
not a
light
star.
travel underground? I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah. How many lumens is a?
Oh, it's gonna cost you.
It's not a lot.
Yeah.
Apparently, the light of the sun travels
Converge the
quite
manual.
a lot, is what I've noticed.
Oh.
But not this.
What's a lumen? Is like a candle at 1 meter.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. So it'd have to be a lot.
Yeah.
750,000.
Maybe if we set
Candles.
ourselves on fire.
The power of 1,000,000 candles. But yeah, you can't see much. As far as you know, you just crank them down into the abyss. You've got no idea. So yeah, you see this jade stone that's almost encrusted the outside of this.
How steep is this slope?
How steep is your slope? It's like 45 degree. It's
Okay,
steep.
it's
Yeah,
very
It's
steep.
very steep. It's probably traversable only because the first 150 feet almost went straight down, and after that it kind of was a natural cavern, but it got more jagged and more distorted, and now there's probably quite a lot of handholds and
Is there any sign of the remains of half a house and various bits of masonry and the
one single
seal solitary
It glistens.
One fresh
In
food.
false
and it's
moonlight.
just managed to instead of exploding over vast, it's just
perfectly formed.
um,
Oh dear. Sorry that cracked me up. Very immature.
any sign of the bits of the and not anvil
Anthill.
Bit of the anthill.
The forge.
the forge.
Where
Geordie
you
LaForge.
currently are, Geordie LaForge, there isn't anything you can see here. Mind you, anything that dropped down here fell an awful long way, so it's unlikely to have made much impression.
Oh no, it would have made an impression.
Made an impression, but not one that you can see. But there is this sloshing water nearby. That's all you can see. And funnily enough, now that you think about it, deep in the water, if you really strain your vision, which makes you feel uncomfortable to do so, there does seem to be a small pinprick of light in there.
I don't swim that well. I climb, I don't swim.
It's deep.
Yeah. I'm not one of them blue elves.
Now what do we do? Is that so? Okay, so we're basically at the bottom of this cavern, and there's water in the bottom. Is the water flowing or is it still?
It's sort of sloshing around, but it's hard to tell if it's flowing somewhere else and it's causing a current, or if it's the fact that now that you're down here, you do feel like almost like a drag of current. You can hear it bubbling in the water, so you're not sure if it's coming out or something's blowing in, or whether it's just the air around the surface kind of swashing around. And there's quite a lot of air drag and current where you are.
That air's got to be coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
We're a long way down for there to be air currents.
I feel like this is the kind of place where Fur Knights come to die. It's really big. Really, really big.
There's nothing here though.
And there's no easy way for us to traverse anything.
No,
I think we have to wait until the chain goes up and then tell
there's
the
just
others.
nothing here, is there? There's no sign of any of the stuff that.
Unless we're about to meet Flippadip.
Bingo.
The magnet is so
Just
the
a
magnet
little
is
man in
sitting
the house.
just above the surface
Just
of
above
the
the surface of
water.
the water is flat, basically. You do notice this light seems to be getting slightly larger.
Oh,
Oh, I don't know.
deep joy.
It's a Gyarados.
You ever heard of an anglerfish?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like them.
No.
How are we talking about?
I certainly don't want to meet one that can survive down here.
I've got an idea. Let's climb the chain.
Let's climb the chain.
Yeah. 20 feet per 6
It's
seconds.
also a song on the album by Blood Killer.
Let's climb the chain.
Did we detect any difference between the movement of the chain when they were climbing it and now?
The chain's incredibly heavy, right? They're 2 foot large links, so you could probably hear something clanking, but it'd be negligible.
It's the Titanic's anchor.
Yeah, it's a heavy old thing.
Also an album.
Titanic's anchor.
Does anyone need to end at a certain time, by the way? It's
I need
circa
to
runway.
get down to the bus station for 11 o'clock.
That was the most genuine Dungeons and Dragons moment you've ever seen.
Well, we just describe whether.
What time does everyone need to-
anyone need to get home?
My
why
mummy's
hasn't
picking me up in 3 minutes.
why hasn't the pizza arrived?
Mum will be here in 20 minutes.
Oh, you're having another nosebleed.
Now we've alienated our other of the 2 fans we have, they've now both left.
Yeah.
We're never going to be able to afford this camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're climbing the chain.
I guess
I'm
we're
not gonna-
climbing the chain.
I'm not going to make you roll for it. You're adventurers. It's a big old chain. You're going to be able to climb this thing. You climb for free anyway. So you're climbing up this thing. You guys up on the surface, what are you guys up to? You dropped your friends down a cavern, and you haven't seen them for what is going on for like 15 minutes at this point.
I was working in my head to a 12-minute timer.
Yeah.
Then I was going
The
to start
screaming
cranking
stopped
up.
about
Okay,
15
About 12
minutes
minutes.
ago.
12 minutes.
12 minutes.
I feel like we
What?
should have communicated better before.
They were keen to get down.
The
so
screaming
Some kind of
stopped,
time
followed
limit.
by
Yeah,
the
I would've-
swearing, and even that stopped now.
I've been flicking
sorry.
coins down there.
Yeah.
Just periodically.
Yeah, after about 12 minutes, I just going to
After about
start
12 minutes.
cranking.
So, round about now, the chain starts going back up again. It comes up quite quick, so it's coming kind of like 20 feet every
6 seconds.
every 6 seconds, round about. So you stop hoofing it up there.
Okay. So while as it's now going up,
Yeah.
I'm going to hold on to the chain with this arm, jam the torch
Between your...
Oh,
Jam-
you're actually there.
Tiger.
Jam the torch between the links, just below my leg.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning over to the side, and with this arm, I'm getting my crossbow out.
Nice. Okay.
And very, very carefully
Betrayal.
loading it,
Curse your son with an inevitable trial. Felix
Loading
didn't
it.
make it.
and having it ready.
Oh, I don't know why you'd be doing that. It's probably fun.
No, I've got no reason to suspect a thing.
Yeah, it's probably fun.
I'm ready for what?
Anything that might come at me.
Yeah.
So
With the right number of legs.
So I'm like that. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You going up? You going
Yeah,
up?
we're going
You
up.
You go past the webbed hole.
We go past the web hole and I'm watching
Yeah.
very, very carefully.
Nothing seems to jump out of you. As you're raising up, actually, you do notice that because you're probably looking for it, you slid down one side towards the water. There was obviously another side that went down, but the magnet tilted on what looks like a solid precipice that comes up to a point, and you slid down one side rather than the other. So there is another way down. You keep going up past the webbed hole. You keep going. I'm not going to make you go through it all, but you pass the other hole again with this kind of wooden. It doesn't seem to be anything in there as far as you can tell.
Just
But now that
this has
you
been a very
look,
long day.
You're really peeping hard. You maybe see the odd reflection of a torch, or some kind of light in there. It looks like fire.
What, in the bit with the spikes?
Yeah, there's something obviously lit in there. Before you know it, unless you choose to jump off or do something crazy, you're heading further and further up. You start to see this magnet appearing. It hits 40 feet. Your friends there looking a little bit like they've been dropped a great distance.
You're alive!
You're a dick.
I've still got my crossbow out and it's pointed directly at you.
You guys weren't very happy about being dragged up, so I didn't want to. I saved you the time of climbing back down.
Can I shoot him?
Yes.
Can I shoot him?
Yes.
Right, I'm going to shoot you.
You'll miss.
You actually
You
can shoot
shoot.
him.
I'm going to shoot him with my
Shoot me?
crossbow.
You can shoot
PvP!
20 paces.
We're in the
Yeah.
arena.
You're
You
clearly an
absolutely
enemy of the state.
You'll miss.
You will if he drops the chain again. It's an attack roll. When you're
It's like
ready.
the idea of them coming up on the chain and just ka-tunk.
Where's my crossbow? There we go. Right.
Is this a non-lethal shot?
Yes, yeah, it's non-lethal. I'm going to shoot him in the
Kneecap.
leg.
Oh, but
Non-lethal between the eyes.
Non-lethal
Non-lethal
crossbow
between
bolt.
the thigh
In the
gap.
leg.
through the
Yeah.
through the thigh
Yeah.
gap. What'd you roll? Through the thigh gap. Wesley hasn't got
Oh,
a
there's
thigh
no
gap.
gap.
Wesley's not got a thigh gap in that.
Tackle's too long.
No chance.
The Prince Albert. Oh no. Good lord, don't do that. We are getting banned from YouTube. See you later, YouTube. It's nice knowing you.
Tackle.
The tackle.
Such a beautiful use of words.
I think it's the big fish down there.
Yeah.
The big fish. Yeah.
Sweet poetry.
The magic.
Right.
Dunk.
That is what I call it.
That's it's an 8.
Yeah, that's a miss.
That's a miss. Do you only choose for it to hit your arm, or is it just going to completely miss?
Just bounce off me.
When it
I'll just
when
shove
it
it.
bounces off, it just goes prick.
Shove your head.
No, it doesn't prick him because you missed.
Yeah.
And it says the
Yeah,
word.
the arrow gives you a slow poke instead.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Nah.
Nice. Well done.
What's the plan then?
Well, there's nothing down there.
You've only got two
Apart
more,
from a load
two
of
more
that Jade
scenarios
stuff.
to set me up with.
I'm being really honest. I'm waiting for an apology.
You
Apology
nearly
for
killed
what?
us. You nearly killed us dropping us down there like that.
Yeah.
You seem proper keen to get down.
Not that keen. Not terminal velocity keen.
Are they still on the magnet?
Still on the magnet.
Admittedly, I thought I've heard in the interdimensional transmissions device of magnetic brakes. It doesn't seem to have one. This one, it might have. I don't know what one looks like, but they work on devices like this, but obviously not on this one. But we stopped you.
I mean, it doesn't sound like an apology.
Did you hear him? He said, "So long, suckers," when you went down.
So long.
Can't wait to be rid of them. Precise
Next
words.
time his back's turned, I am going to shoot him in the back of the
That's
head.
all right.
What did you see?
Nothing. There's no bits of dwarven stuff down there. There might be some giant spiders. There might even be people living down there in a cave off to the side. And there's a load of that jade stuff.
Sounds like the opposite of nothing.
Apart from that,
It's all
the
pretty.
stuff we were looking for, no sign of it.
And you took any?
No, it's all inaccessible.
No.
You have to be like a golem or something to go.
How inaccessible?
Like, you want decent. Let me just. He's gonna climb up the chain.
Yeah, let's just
Down
get off.
there.
There is a 10-foot gap
Yeah.
between the magnet and the. So you,
No.
in theory, you could probably jump it.
I'm not jumping it. My legs are too shaky as it is.
No,
I'm
it's
going to
gonna
climb up the chain
Yeah.
Climbing's
and then
free.
down.
mate.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
and less lethal.
Why don't you jump it?
Why don't you?
Why don't you jump? Yeah.
So basically, you'd have to be like a friggin' digger to get that stuff. It's huge down there. It's a big cavern, hundreds of feet,
Loads of it,
but loads of the jade.
but you'd need professional mining gear to get at it. I mean, you know, the sort of professional mining gear that dwarves might make, perhaps.
Is this other dwarf still stood next to us?
Yeah, it's just completely silent. Just looking at you.
Mum,
Mum.
sorry, you're a man. Do you have? Do you have any? Who does your mining here? Do you have a mining guild?
Of course, we got a mining guild.
Okay. We may have need for them.
Them,
There's only
Him.
one of them, isn't there?
her actually, but yeah.
Huh.
There's one of
Because
them.
you all wanted to be your gender, you know.
How old is she?
She's getting on a bit.
Yeah, I thought she might.
Is it Bumway? No.
Well, it's not. She's the forge master.
When was the last time she did any mining?
Wow, we haven't needed any in a while.
You have any dug up any of this green stuff they're talking about?
Don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean you don't know what I'm talking about?
What do you mean you don't know what we're talking
I
about?
don't know what you mean by green stuff. Well,
Jade, crystal,
Like, jade?
crystalline, glowing rock stuff.
Oh, aye. Some down there, is there?
Yes. Quite a lot.
Tons.
Holston said it was important.
Is that right? That's interesting.
Have you ever dug it up?
Yeah, of course. We mined it back in the day, but not a lot of it.
How hard is it to mine? What do we need?
You'd be heavy duty stuff,
Miners might be a start.
Nah, you'd need something automated.
A what?
Automated, move like a drill.
Right.
Do you have something automated?
Yeah.
Can we have it?
No.
You keen on getting any of the stuff out of this hole?
Well, I don't use it, right?
Castle?
He's just going to click a knuckle.
Alright.
Can we not just throw him down the hole so that he can see it for himself? I mean, you're a big, heavy dwarf, but I'm pretty sure the 5 of us can move you fairly close to the edge of the hole.
You probably, yeah. So what is it that you want exactly?
I thought you wanted your stuff.
I do. I'm not interested in a mining operation.
Well,
If you want a miner, I can find you a miner. Yeah.
Well, yes, we will want that. There's also a big bright light down there in the middle of some water.
Is there?
Yeah.
There's stuff living down there.
Well, it's
What, right close to my house? You didn't lead with that?
Well, it's not obvious. We didn't see anything.
What is it down there?
How are you with
What's
spiders?
down there?
How are you with spiders?
Not great.
Hmm.
Little wee things, yeah, but not stuff with. You get all kinds of
There's
stuff.
none of them down there anyway, so you might as well go down and have a look.
You
I
can
can't. I'm getting on a bit.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're all getting on. You're all getting on there. We need your best miner.
I can find her if you want. She's called Scottalorum. I'm going to struggle to say that again. So just the right thing.
You might want to change.
Scotalum. There we go. Scotalum blazing axe. Scotalum.
Right, well, you go and get Miss Scrotum and
Scotalum.
tell her
Don't be
that
offensive, mate.
Squirtle.
tell her there's
Well done. Well done.
there's a seam of glowing jade rock
Oh, I
at the
know it.
bottom
She'll
of the
know it.
hole that she might be interested
She'll
in.
know it. Okay. She's just crazy enough to go down there,
I bloody hope so.
I'll go and find her. I'll go and have a word. I'll call for her. That's what we do here, She has to come to me. There's a whole thing. I'll call to her. She'll come and see me, and we'll see what we can do. And after I get me finder's fee, I'll send her down.
What now?
Me finder's fee, for finding the phylactery jade.
But you didn't find it, we did. So shouldn't we get a finder's fee?
She's not talked to you, though, was she?
How heavy does he look?
He's pretty heavy, actually. He's quite a stocky dwarf. He's got an armour. He's relatively heavy, but you're a strong guy.
Very strong.
Yeah. So,
We're getting to the end of my tether here.
How are you with bludgeoning damage?
Or sharp piercing damage, perhaps.
pretty good.
I know you're not meant to toss a dwarf, but what kind of check would it be to toss him 10 foot?
You're going to push him off the edge?
No, I want to throw him onto a certain magnet.
Oh yeah, he's wearing lots of metallic armor. Can I just...
in fact,
Throw him under it.
yeah, I want to throw him under the magnet.
You're going to basically push him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do a shove attack, so you'd roll an attack, and rather than do damage, you'd be trying to push him.
Can't I just aim my crossbow between his eyes?
I'd probably just kill him.
I'm not going to shoot him, just threaten him with it.
But then what I plan to do to him will kill him. So I'm going
Not
to kick that ratchet.
necessarily. Oh, I see. Right.
Hey, you want to see the jade, do you?
Not really. I told you that already.
Yeah, well, find his feet ours. Or we break your legs.
Gotta find him first.
Let's take our turn for the worst.
What the problem is,
Can you roll an intimidation check?
I love justice. You're not a very just person. In fact, I'll be honest, you're a bit of a dick. Not very good. Persuasion, did you say?
Yeah. No, intimidation.
Intimidation. 3.
You're not going to push me through that hole.
And that's interesting because my fist says different. I'm going to try and shove him.
You can try and show him?
Yeah.
Cool. Make an attack action.
Cheapers. Plus 7 is a 12 to hit.
Cool. You are just shoving up against him, and he's not really moving a great deal. He's just quite happy to be there, like,
Your feet are going like that along the ground. It's just not going anywhere.
that's not.
Go down the hole, you piece of crap.
That's not key. That's not what it is. You could try and, if you absolutely wanted to, you could try and grapple him off the edge. And that's about as good as you could do at this stage. You'd have to, like, you'd have to wrestle him.
Because it's D&D, and we all like to have a little bit of fun. Felix is going to climb the crane.
Yeah.
And down the chain.
Yeah.
And then he's going to run backwards and forwards and swing the magnet so that it gets him.
Yeah, okay, you're going to swing out.
I really hate this frigging guy.
What else is anyone carrying that's made out of metal?
Shit. Quite my shield, my
Yeah,
mace.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it.
You're going to want to get out of the way.
Yeah.
It's a big 10-foot magnet. You can see what's happening.
Mm.
You got plenty.
We are probably
Yeah,
move.
we'll get out of the way. Yeah, we're going to get out of the way.
Yeah.
We can move faster than the dwarf. We're going to get out of the way. We can see what Felix is up to. Okay.
Find his feet
Yeah.
in my butt.
Swing him out there. How many swings do you reckon it's going to take before he gets
It
it?
takes so long. It's very heavy.
Yeah.
So let's get in there.
Yeah.
He just seems to be standing there, letting the proceedings happen.
Screw it. I'm going to take a running jump onto the magnet and I'm going to help.
You can help him.
Yeah, I'm going to help him swing this magnet.
You do have to jump 10 feet though.
Fine.
This is where he dies.
Take a running jump.
Running jump. You can probably do that. Jumping rolls, anyone?
Time it right.
Something like your strength, running jump. There we go. Long jump. You can move 10 plus feet and jump a number of feet up to your strength score, so you can clear it. What's your strength score?
What's my strength? My strength is 16.
16. Yeah, easily. Easily. I'm going to take a 10-foot run up.
Yeah.
Easily make it.
Right, let's swing this fucker.
Yeah.
You seen it?
The next one's Wesley.
Yeah.
Or no.
Swing.
You hear a
Back.
thunk. And he
There's a
disappears.
scrape. There's a scrape first.
Yeah,
Please
he
tell me
disappears.
there's a scrape.
There's a little bit of-
Scrape. There's his hobnail boots scraping along the ground. Sparks. Yeah. Oh no! Oh no! Oh.
And that's where we're going to leave it. Thank you very much.
Who says you can't dangle a dwarf?
Thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the escapades as they unfolded, shall we say. It's been absolutely wonderful to get to know you all, so thank you for coming by. I'd just like to thank my players who've made this night very charming.
Thank you
interesting.
too, Ollie.
Thank you, Ollie.
Nice, well done. And please, those of you who are playing Pokemon Bingo at home, if you could send in your cards, we'll see who won. Remember to play the episode backwards, because you'll miss half of them unless you play it backwards.
There is a prize, but it's not very good.
It's not very good. It's basically our love. That's all we can give you.
On the subject of which, our OnlyFans.
And on the subject of which, if you tune into our OnlyFans, that's going to help us afford the camera. Please take a look. Die rolling on. I don't know how OnlyFans works, I'll be honest, just search it.
But the videos on there aren't very good because we haven't got a new camera.
Yeah,
So
so it's very grainy. Very grainy image. But until next time, we have been.
Articuno!
With the loss of my voice, it